my God! Look who's back. Meadow Woods 97.3, The Fan. The boys are fired up this morning, certainly. It's great. By the boys, I mean us. Me, I'm Woodsy, and Paul Reindl, the executive producer. Good morning, Paulie.
Hey, how are you?
The other boy, Ben Higgins, friendly neighborhood sports anchor, fired up as well. Fresh haircut, looking sharp. Sharp as a tack this morning. Fresh haircut. Where'd you get it done? What salon did you go to? What hot, trendy salon?
What barber shop
did you go and get that wig split?
Hollywood stylist to the stars. Marcus did my hair. No, I went to Sport Clips.
Sport
like
Clips.
I usually do. Not a sponsor of the show. Really should be. Should be.
Couldn't should
Don't
be.
know why they're not. I'd be the perfect endorser. Yet never have been offered.
I always think about the day that's like Sport Clips made its big announcement that hey, we have a new business idea. We're going to cut your hair and you can watch sports. And I wish I had a hidden camera on my beloved Ben to see that day. Like, oh my God, Mom, Dad, have you heard? Have you heard?
My goodness.
Well, Ben, what is it? Is everything okay? Hey, everything's great. But there's a place that's opening up in Rancho Bernardo. I got to get up there. They cut your hair, and there's TVs, and you watch sports in there. It's made for you.
It's great.
It's
and
made
you get
for
the
you.
MVP experience. It's like a spa treatment for
Mom,
guys.
you don't understand. I can get my scalp massaged
Hot towel.
while
Hot
watching
towel.
Around the Horn.
No, I did it Saturday. I went with my son, watched the USC-Michigan football game while I sat in the stylist chair. I feel like I get a very simple haircut. Anyone can do it, so there's really no reason to pay like $140 for a haircut when I can get a nice, whatever, $30 MVP and get my shoulders massaged with the
It does feel
thing.
good.
And
The hot towel.
The hot towel is great.
towel's
Love the
elite.
hot towel.
It's elite. It kills me.
Scalp massage is great.
The business idea was a real good one. It's a real good one. Just like when we were kids.
Their cabinets are designed like lockers.
Yeah. Hang on, I'm gonna get my other.
When you go to get your
scissors.
hair washed, you go through the showers.
I love it. So I wish that I could have seen his face the day he walked in. Like when we grew up, there were I don't recall any like sports bars. Not that it's a new phenomenon, but back in the day it was you went to a bar or you went to a restaurant that might have some games up above the bar area. But then one guy goes, well, let's just put all this together and we'll get some attractive waitresses and we'll, serve wings or whatever. And then we'll make it a sports bar.
I remember when
genius.
Seao's first opened in
yeah.
Mission Valley and this is Disneyland for sports fans. This was awesome.
Just incredible.
And now it's like that, but getting a haircut
That's
as
right.
well.
That's right. Yeah, you never miss your Tony Kornheiser takes as you're getting your wig split on a Saturday, man. So listen, we are very fired up today. Certainly, a lot of good news to talk about for your San Diego Padres. And anytime you can sweep a team, you're very happy. You're very happy, and setting attendance records and things like that. It's just. As I sit here this morning on September, 23rd, I am very, 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 very happily surprised by how this baseball season has played out. Now, the problem with that is I instantly want more. I'm gratified, but I want so much more gratification. The expectations of this team and its fan base have changed 100%. And so I'm very impressed with what I saw this weekend. And honestly, I'm going to tell you, we'll talk about it. I'm very impressed by what I saw from both teams. I mean, those games were a dogfight. They were a dogfight. And I'm watching that bullpen, Ben, going, how are these guys so bad? Everyone throws 99 and they've got a 2 ERA. Like, I don't get it. But
they never quit.
They never quit. Never. I mean, I saw one bad play on their part, and nothing happened. Jackson Merrill had a chance to get new life there yesterday after a Vargas boot. And I other than that, man, I saw a team that was absolutely playing with their hair on fire.
I agree with you. I mean, they're not a good offensive club.
No.
They struggle to score runs. But otherwise, if you just put me in a dark room and said, all right, watch this series,
Yes.
tell me what you think. The Padres are a pretty good team, and the White Sox, not bad, middle of the road. Need some offensive help, but otherwise they look like a solid, decent baseball team. Nothing at all screamed, this is the worst team in the history of baseball. They didn't make a bunch of dumb plays, no base running mistakes. No. They were pretty buttoned up defensively most of the series.
More than us.
Yeah, there was really nothing there that said this team is absolutely horrible, other than they didn't get many hits.
Yeah.
Which, give the Padres pitching staff some credit for that as well.
So we'll talk about that, certainly. Now, we have a thing on our rundown where you guys write a recap for the weekend, and Balls is blank and Ben's is blank. So what am I to assume about the weekend? I saw Paulie yesterday. I did not see you.
I forgot to add Ben's.
Oh, you had one.
I did have one.
He puts it in his email.
Oh, in the notes. Okay.
And then
all
I
right.
need to copy and paste.
That's your recap.
Yeah. Costco, Trader Joe's, lots of to-dos. Goat Golf, went to the new dumpling bar in Encinitas.
Tell me
which
about
was
that.
Really, really good.
I saw your picture.
Yeah. The food was outstanding. Soft opening, so, still working out some of the kinks, I think. But
I like this picture that you posted of the dumplings.
Well, I just reposted their
wasn't
picture.
yours.
I didn't take that picture.
Okay.
Just added it to my story.
So what did you have?
Had the chow long bao with the pork, which is the soup dumplings.
Okay, in
XLB.
soup?
No, the soup is inside the dumplings. You eat the dumpling, and then the soup kind of bursts into your mouth at 100 million degrees. So you have to be careful with that.
You gotta wait it out a little bit.
Pot stickers, which were excellent. You can see them making them all like fresh right in front of you behind a little
I gotta try
window.
I gotta try it.
Yeah, it's right there. 3 minutes from your house. So
I would be remiss because I didn't do it Friday.
everyone likes dumplings, right?
I think
Dumplings
so,
are
yeah.
almost universal.
Yeah.
It's hard to meet someone. Oh no, I just don't like pot stickers and stuffed pasta.
I think even I like dumplings.
It's really good.
I would be remiss if I didn't wish my bride a happy anniversary in one day because I didn't do it on Friday because who knows? We hadn't hit it yet. You never know what's going to happen.
It's true. Yeah,
you want to wait till
you don't assume.
Don't never with Hannah. Never assume anything ever. She could have dropped papers on me on Sunday morning, and I would, I'd be like, all right, I guess.
You got me. I had already wished you a happy anniversary.
Damn it! I wish I would have known this before I said happy anniversary on Friday. But so happy anniversary to my beloved bride. 7 years married, 10 years together. 2 little angels, little sweet angels,
and your kids,
and our kids. We had. I will say this: it's time. I'm not. You can't bang me for Plugola because I didn't pay for it, but the restaurant didn't pay for it either. But I have to tell you guys,
no one paid for it.
This story, no, it was paid for.
Oh, good, okay.
So we go to a place called. I'm going to mess this up. Can you say it for me?
Millefleur.
Thank you. There's an S on the end, but that's silent because it's French. Say
correct.
it again.
Millefleur.
It is. It was.
It's 1,000 flowers.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
It was perhaps the best meal I've eaten in my life. We started with the what do you call them? The bread, but there's a name for it.
There's a name for bread.
Yeah, what the hell do they call it? It's French. What do they call for bread?
Like a batard or
a batard.
Like
Never heard
like
of
a
that.
loaf of bread.
It's like
or
a- what
what
the
are we
hell is it
talking
called?
about?
Doesn't
a
matter.
boule of bread.
Oh my god.
I mean, there's different kinds of
wish
bread.
you-
There
I
are
wish-
the French make lots of bread.
Lay bread. Yes, that's what they call it. No, it's not pan. So we got the bread. Then we each had lobster bisque, and then Hannah got the steak frites. Baguette. That's the word I was
baguette.
searching for. Got the lobster bisque. Hannah got steak frites. I got filet with mashed potatoes, and we got a side of corn. We each had a cocktail, 1 cocktail each. We ate it. Ben, my plate was. It was. I took like the rest of the baguette and smeared up all the leftover juice on my plate. It was that good.
Le baguette.
Le baguette. So we're sitting there and we're eating. We're having such a great time. And so I had my cocktail and I go, "Hey, happy anniversary. Here's to 7 more." And she started dying laughing. And she's like, "Just 7." I'm like, you start small. Hopefully we make the
we're
next
halfway
7.
there.
Yeah, we're halfway there. So we're having a great time. And I look up at Millefleur, and in to the restaurant walks the GOAT himself, Ron Fowler, and his wife, Alexis. And I haven't seen them in forever. I will text with both of them every now and then. I love them. If you don't know the backstory, this show quite literally owes its life to Ron Fowler. We are huge Ron Fowler fans. Ron Fowler made sure that our asses were sitting in these seats when our other station went under. He made sure of it. He busted his tail to make sure we had jobs. I had a baby. I had no insurance. I had no salary. I had no nothing. And Ron made it happen for us. And so we owe him, I owe him my life, I feel like, because I was really the one holding it back from getting hired here. So he walks in, big hugs. He looks phenomenal, by the way. Phenomenal. Maybe something about not owning a baseball team.
Well, he's moved on to owning a soccer team.
He owns a soccer team.
I've heard may even be worse
That's
than owning a
true. That's
baseball
true.
team.
But whatever it is, he looks phenomenal. So they walk in and we catch up and say hello. And then we sit down, we sit back down, we order our dessert. And the bill comes, I'm reaching for my wallet. And he goes, oh, no, sir, Mr. Fowler is taking care of this for you. And
Power move.
I just go, come on, man. He is the best. So, Ron, thank you. Alexis, thank you. Again, I'm so in arrears to them. Like, I really should be spending my weekends over, like, pruning their trees and, like, washing his car for him because that's just kind of how I feel. I feel like I owe him my life, man. So it was so great to see them. And, it was an incredibly generous thing. So that was really sweet. It was really sweet.
They are very sweet people.
And made our anniversary even more special. We had a great time that day, or that night. And then yesterday we spent it at the ball field all day and got our first win as a Pinto team. Managed a nice comeback win, 8-1. I didn't do much. Just my guys finally started hitting in like the third inning.
No, you told me you made a big adjustment.
I did. I
middle
moved
of the game.
Moved them back in the box.
Okay.
Everything was coming up high, and everyone's swinging at their
Smart.
eyes. So, yeah, we figured it out. We ended up winning yesterday, 13-12. We had a walk-off. So it was a pretty elite weekend. No complaints from me. Didn't take an L all weekend.
No.
Which is the first time I can really say.
Tier 1s, Padres.
The
Pinto.
Bulls, and then both soccer team won. He had a great game, scored a goal. No L's all weekend. No L's at all, which is nice.
Now, if we can just keep that going for another month plus, we're all golden.
I know. I kind of viewed this weekend as the calm before the storm because this week I'm going to be high-intensity games. Regular season games, but they're going to feel like playoff games, all 6 of them.
Yeah.
The rest of the way. Next weekend in particular, it could come down to the wire. Who knows? And then, still don't know where we're going to be playing in the playoffs. What seed? Are we a 1 seed? Are we the 4 seed? Are we the 6 seed? Nothing is set in stone yet. So, there's just so much uncertainty. I'm sure we're going to have plenty of playoff broadcasts and, weekend shows possibly. There is so much unknown. Oh, Adam's already been asking.
We're not doing any weekend shows. We have 20 hours a week.
He's already been asking.
We have 20 hours a week.
Were you calm on Friday when they hit a 2-run home run off Robert Suarez and tied the game in the 9th? Were you calm yesterday when they were trailing 2-1 in the 8th inning against the Chicago White Sox? I wasn't all that calm.
I was fairly
it wasn't dying, but
Friday I was not.
I was upset. Friday.
Yesterday I was calm. I knew it was going to come. I tweeted it. I said, time for the grid squad to get gritty. The second I hit send, double. Just like that. I was like, oh, that was actually pretty weird. And but man, it was just incredible. It was incredible. I'm so proud of the guys for going out and just handling business. As we know, we said
Grid squad showed up again.
Don't ever go into any series saying, unless you could have gone in and said, we need to sweep to make the playoffs. Okay, then you know what your assignment is. But to go in knowing full well these guys don't want to set that record, they don't want to tie that record, and to go in and handle business, as we saw up in L.A., sweeps of bad teams by good teams, you can't count on it. The Rockies ended up scratching out a game against the Dodgers. It does happen. So the fact that our guys went in, handled business, my hat's off to you, man. And yeah, it wasn't pretty, and they were hard fought. But again, those are the kind of games. Once you win them, it just kind of helps. It's like another notch in the belt, man. Okay, yeah, we can win these games, and they continue to come back and fight. So it was pretty special.
All right, we will have your playoff update and status for the San Diego Padres when we come back and set the menu for a Monday edition of Ben and Woods. Do not go anywhere. Probably still a little leftover talk from the weekend as well. Paul Reindl, Stephen Woods, happy anniversary to you and Hannah. I'm Ben Higgins. We'll be right back after Kelly Danick's Traffic here on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, here we go.
Black 17 on.
That is my number. All right, hit me.
Hamul Casino. Fun above all else.
All right, here we go.
Black 17 on.
That is my number.
Well, if you look at the Fangraphs website this morning, you'll see the Padres with the playoff odds of 100%.
We did it.
But they have not clinched the playoff spot. That just
Oh, I
means
thought you just said 100%.
that just means they're above 99.5%, and it rounds up to 100 because they remain with a magic number of 1 to clinch a playoff spot. And while I've been looking for the official clinching scenarios for Major League Baseball, I actually have not found them. So this is based on my own understanding of the situation, the tiebreakers, and the math. But I believe
Higgins core. You know, they have Common Core. This is Higgins core.
I believe
is it called Common Core?
The one and only way the Padres can clinch a playoff spot tomorrow. They can't clinch one today. No one is playing that is involved in the National League wild card race that would affect the Padres. The Diamondbacks do play for the number 1 seed, and you can cheer against the Diamondbacks against the Giants. But the only way they clinch is with a win over the Dodgers because there's no way that both the Mets and Braves can lose tomorrow because they play each other.
Ah.
So the Padres will either win and clinch or they will have to wait until at least Wednesday to try again. Now, at some point, the Mets and Braves could have enough losses together that the Padres can clinch without winning a game. But right now, the only way they can clinch is by winning tomorrow against the Dodgers. So they'll have to take all the champagne and plastic tarping up to Dodger Stadium and have it ready just in case they win the opener to that 3-game series tomorrow.
It would have been so weird. There was a scenario, I'm sure most Padres fans were aware, over the weekend where, you win Friday night and you're like, okay, what does that do for the magic number? And then you're looking at Saturday and Sunday and you're like, all right, if the Padres win Saturday and Sunday and the Mets and Braves both lose, we could clinch on Sunday night. And then you look ahead and see that the Mets are playing on Sunday night baseball. You're like, so if it all, which it didn't work out that way, but you're like, are they just going to finish their game at 4:00 and then sit in the clubhouse?
That was the plan.
You get a text.
If the Braves had lost yesterday and they won 5-4 over the Marlins, which made it a moot point, but had the Braves lost and the Padres won, the plan
pop
was
some bottles at 8:30
the plan was
PM.
for the team to stick around for 3.5 hours and wait and watch the Mets game in the clubhouse. And if the Mets had lost, they would have had a champagne celebration. I think it was around 7:40 or so when that game ended, and they would have, 6:40 when the game ended, and they would have popped bottles at 6:40 at night and had a very awkward late night celebration with the playoff clincher happening 3,000 miles away and at later than anybody else. Petco Park had been completely emptied out long ago, but they would have done it because that would have been the playoff clincher.
I just picture Mike Schilt being like, Adam, hey, can you guys stick around for another 3.5, maybe 4 hours, just in case? Also, Paul, can you make a graphic for in case they do lose and we do clinch? That's what I pictured in my head. I would, it
wouldn't be something that's mandatory, but it'd be a bad look if you weren't around celebrating with your team, clinching a playoff spot. Or you can just wait and do it before the game on Tuesday when you get up to Dodger Stadium.
Oh, God, just rage.
It's weird to start before the game with a champagne
They're all just
celebration,
hammered.
then go out and play the game. So that would be weird.
Well, a lot of them stuck around. Yeah, there was they stuck around and did the concert yesterday.
Los Tucanes.
Los Tucanes. Did you see Ruben?
Oh my God.
Jeremiah Estrada, Robert Suarez just getting them
David
on
Peralta
stage.
having the greatest day of his life.
It was so great, man. It was so great. It was just phenomenal. So, yeah, I mean, again, 100% chance to make the playoffs. I would say that's a job well done, mission accomplished. And certainly there are other scenarios that could be even more fun and more special.
Oh, there's more at stake right now. I think their goal is not just get in.
No, they're in. They're in. 100% chance.
Well,
you're in. You're going to the playoffs. Let it sink in, absorb it, and then think about the other missions and tasks at hand. It's incredible. And I'll say it 100 times today. A 90-win season was not in the cards for me. I will be as honest and open and tell you I did not think this team would win 90 with a chance to win 96. I did not think it was going to happen. I'm so happy that it did.
I think the big headline from the weekend is that the Padres now control their own destiny to win the NL West and a bye in the first round. Nothing can stop the Padres. They need no help whatsoever.
It's unreal.
They just need to win their last 6 games. And if they do, Padres will be NL West champions, and they will have a bye in the first round as either the number 2 or possibly the number 1 seed in the National League with the Philadelphia Phillies, and wait until next Saturday would be the start of the playoffs. Now, if they lose even 1 game to the Dodgers or 1 game to the Diamondbacks, they could still end up not winning the division. They would need some help at that point from the Rockies to beat the Dodgers in one of those last 3 games. But they still have the control of their own destiny going forward. As long as they keep winning, they are on track to win the division.
It's hard to wrap my head around, man. And again, I Paulie brought it up the other day, and I thought about it all weekend. I thought about the opening day broadcast. Down there just filled with a lot of hope and thinking to myself, No, I mean, I like what we have, certainly. We've got stars. It's not like we don't have stars on this team. There are guys that are capable of having monster years and carrying us, but we don't have enough pitching. And this bullpen's a little bit suspect. I've never heard of half
Starting
these guys.
Some guy in center field that has never played
Played center. I'm not expecting much. He'll be better than Trent Grisham.
You got Profar on $1 million prove-it deal.
Jerkson's going to be an everyday player. I just don't know about that, man. I just don't know. How's Manny's coming off surgery?
Really, should it be a Zokar or Merrill in center field?
That was an actual conversation that was had. And there were actually people going, Sugar deserves the shot. He deserves the shot. Look, this is not a time to say I told you so, because I didn't tell you so. I told you the opposite. I want to be the anti-sports cast. Like, I knew it all along. I had no idea. And I'm so happy. But it's gone by in a blink. Truly a blink. That grindy 500, all right, that's fine. If that's what they are. May get us in with 82 wins. Still may get us in. We did that bit. And to sit here today and watch this team just looking the way they do and playing as hard as they're playing and together as much as they are, it makes it. My stomach has a pit in it. It's just a pit of anxiety and nerves, man. And the playoffs haven't even started yet, but it's been fun. It's been fun. And Don, Mud and Don did this yesterday because it was their last broadcast. This is not going to be our last broadcast, but
At home.
At home, yeah. Thank you guys for being with us all season long.
We should
really
do like
appreciate
Mud
it.
and Don did
Just
and
do a
thank
list.
our entire cast that helps put this show on every day.
I'll start.
Okay.
Thank you to Ben for being
Hey,
here.
you're welcome.
And Paulie, great job. Thank you.
Nice.
Welcome, thank you.
That's it.
What
Well,
about all the other
thank you.
technical directors?
No, that's
and
it. That's it.
Robot camera
No,
operators.
that's it. All our stat guys, our
Yeah.
phone screener. No, that's it.
That's it.
Thank you, guys.
Graphics.
Nope.
It's all Paulie.
Yep.
It's all just Paulie. So that all we have to do is thank the one
Thank
person
Paulie.
that
Yeah,
puts us
that's
on
it.
the air.
That's it.
I mean, thanks to Odyssey for
Sure.
giving us the
yeah,
studio.
giving us the platform, but
Thanks to
And
Adam,
JR and
Michael.
Mike and
Keeping
some of
us
the
on the air.
engineers for the
Yeah.
times we have problems. They
but
do
for the
help
most
out.
part,
All right, here's what we've got coming up. We'll talk about another grit squad of a weekend against the Chicago White Sox, starting with our Padres Wrap-Up. Talk about yesterday's 4-2 win in the series finale in our next segment. Get into the other games as well as we move forward. 7:10 is Take on Wood. 7:20, Don't Do This. A lot of baseball talk today. I would imagine at some point we'll work in some football thoughts, although I wouldn't expect that to dominate the conversation on this program this morning. 8:35, Sam Levitt, who was there yesterday, talked to Luis Ariz after the game, was part of the post-game celebration for the final regular season game at Petco Park. A new attendance record set yesterday. Talked to Sammy Levitt at 8:35. Reindl Report at 9 o'clock. We've also got some tickets to give away to the La Mesa Oktoberfest, VIP tickets for the La Mesa Oktoberfest, which is the big one in San Diego coming up. So stay tuned for all of that, but back with our Padres wrap-up, Jesse and Tony's calls of the sweep clincher yesterday against the Chicago White Sox when we return with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan. Oh, look at us talking about potential playoff pitching rotations. I mean,
You just said it last segment.
you did.
100%.
It's 100%. So it's time to start. I'm guarantee you, AJ Preller is thinking about it. Mike Schultz says, "Hey, we're one day at a time. We're not going to worry about
He's
that
thinking
yet."
About it.
But
You have to.
you have to start thinking about it.
Well, you do have to focus on the task at hand as well, because
Of course.
especially the task at hand could yield you a really, really special thing and a little bit of time off. That I know a lot of other teams have used that excuse in the last couple of years. The Braves, the Dodgers. There's no excuse, man. You get to reset your rotation. You get to rest your bullpen. You get to rest your legs. You get to now. Will you fall out of rhythm a little bit? You will. But this team has found a way to bounce back all season long from.
Yeah,
that's not that's not even something you have to bounce back
I will
from.
agree that the time off is not necessarily a good thing, but it's better than risking your entire season
Correct.
in a best-of-3 series against likely either the Mets or the Diamondbacks, two incredibly dangerous teams who have had a lot of magic themselves, the Mets of late, Diamondbacks, we saw it last year in the playoffs. If there is a scenario where you can win the division, and don't have to play that series,
Yes.
I don't care if you may feel like, we might not feel quite as locked in by the time we get to Saturday. You have dodged an entire series when you can be eliminated
Yeah, man.
from the playoffs. That is more valuable than anything you can get right now.
Whoever it is playing whoever, you let their closer go 3 straight nights. You let their starting pitching, use everybody in their bullpen. And
A
then
star player possibly tweak an ankle. Anything can happen in those 3 games.
anything.
Bad things. Lots of bad things can happen.
Yeah, I mean, and look, I watched some of that Mets game last night. They've got it, man. They've got that devil magic too. The Braves, it's funny, if you faced off against either of those teams, you would look at both of the starting rotations. You go, I'll take my chances against the Mets. You go against the Braves, you're like, bro, there's a good chance we're 0-2 after facing those guys.
Now, I promise you, if the Padres do end up as a wild card, which is still the most likely outcome, and they win home games on Tuesday and Wednesday and sweep the series, I love that. That's
Yes.
the best possible
Yes.
scenario to
Yes.
be in. You've won 2 games. You have a couple days off then to get ready for the next series. You're in great shape. If you can guarantee me that they were going to win those games, I go, yeah, then let's play them. Let's keep the momentum running.
Sure, yeah.
I just can't promise you they're going to win those games and get through that series, which is why I don't want to have to play it if at all possible. Getting a little ahead of ourselves. We'll certainly talk more about that as the week goes on, and certainly tomorrow as they start the series against the Dodgers. Right now, though, we're going to focus on what happened this weekend, starting with our Padres wrap-up of yesterday's sweep clincher against the White Sox. We'll do that right after this check of traffic with Kelly Danick.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by MTS, reminding you that trolleys run every 15 minutes or better. Yeah, a lot of folks on northbound 805 probably wishing they were on a trolley right now. There's this crash before University. Was blocking middle lanes, but guess what? Emergency crews did a great job of getting that pushed over to the right shoulder. Unfortunately, you're going to see a lot of residual slowing there. That's northbound 805 before University. Also, southbound side of the 805 before Sweetwater. We have reports of a collision involving a couple of vehicles. Appears to be mostly over to the right shoulder. In the North County, crash on the Nordall Road on-ramp to eastbound 78. Don't let traffic drag your day down, whether you're headed to the office or game day. Go the easy way with MTS. Trolleys run every 15 minutes or better throughout the day. Learn more and plan your trolley trip at sdmts.com. That's sdmts.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Banner Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
I love winning, man. I love winning. You hear what I'm saying? It's like better than losing.
Oh, my God, I'm so stiff.
Miss any of the Padres win yesterday? Ben and Woods didn't.
What up, crew?
We've got you covered with all of the highlights.
I like it when the Padres win.
Yeah! Yeah! It's the Padres Wrap-Up, presented by Hamul Casino. With thrilling slots and tables and all the best rewards, Hamul Casino has all the fun you're looking for. Hamul Casino, fun above all else.
Give me a do damage. Do damage.
Got a fresh start this season, and he hits this one well out to deep left field. Profar is back. He's going to watch. It's going to go. Corey Lee of Vista High. A home run, his 11th of the year, and the White Sox will take a 1-0 lead in the third. 1-2 to Robert. Darvish deals, and on the outside corner, strike 3 called. Throws him with a slider, and career strikeout number 2,000 in the major leagues. 3-1 pitch, and Profar sends it in the air to left field, pretty well struck. Benintendi's going back. He's looking up. It's going to go! Profar with a game-tying homer. 1-1 here in the third. Darvish deals, and that's sent in the air to left field straight away. Profar not even going to turn around. Now he does, but it is gone, a home run. A high arcing shot to left field for Vargas, his second as a White Sox, and his 5th of the season. Second solo homer of the day. And the Sox are back in front. It's 2-1. 3-2. Frazier Eller delivers. Arise lines it the other way. That is a fair ball down the left field line. Wade rounding third. He's going to score. Benintendi's throw going to second. Wide of the mark. An RBI double for Arise in the pinch. And a 2-2 game here in the 8th. 2-2. Pitch to Profar. Reach for it. Hit in the air to right field towards the corner. Fletcher over to the line. He makes the catch. Lockridge is tagging. He's on his way. Here's the throw. No shot. Sacrifice fly. Jurickson, Profar, and the Padres have their first lead of the day. It's 3-2. Eller kicks and deals the 0-2 pitch. Hit in the air. Deep to left field. Benintendi back. He's going to watch. It's going to go! 20th of the year for Fernando Tatis Jr. And the Padres add on. It's 4-2. 1-2 to Gavin Sheets. Here's the pitch from Suarez. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Came back with a changeup and got him. Padres win their 90th game of the season. Just the 5th time in franchise history they've done that. They go 3-up on Arizona for the top wild card spot in the National League. And on the other side, the White Sox become only the 2nd team in modern Major League history to lose 120 games.
So that was fitting. Really grit squad showed up again. Competed the whole day, down, fought back, down. Clearly fought back and was able to bring it home. Robert, good for him, did a nice job. Really crisp.
So crisp.
As Jesse said, just the 5th time in franchise history the Padres have reached 90 wins in a season. First since 2010, when they won 90 but did not make the playoffs that year. The franchise record is out of reach. That was the 98 wins that the 98 team got on their way to the World Series against the Yankees. But second place all-time is very much within reach. That's 92, the 1984 Padres, who also went to the World Series, won 92 games, and that is absolutely something the Padres could tie or break this week and become the 2nd winningest team in franchise history. You said you were surprised at 90. I would definitely be surprised as, 2nd best regular season team in Padres franchise history this year.
Yeah, man. And again, we talked about it in the open. The Padres won these games, right? They won these games. The White Sox did not lose these games. The Padres actually had to go out and win these games against a team that has been much maligned, the tied for the most maligned team of all time. I'm really, really, really impressed with how hard those guys played this weekend. I can't say it enough. Every single guy, it felt like that came out of their pen was nasty. And you look at it and you go, man, how does this spiral and get so bad? And the way that they played defense, we played way worse defense than they did. Way worse. I thought they ran the bases better than we did. They just didn't hit. They didn't hit. And part of the reason they didn't hit, we have really good pitching. We have really good starting pitching. We have really good bullpens. And, man, I just – my heart goes out to them. And if you're a White Sox fan listening, I saw a few of you at the ball game on Friday night. I feel like a moron to sit here and tell you your future is bright, especially with who's running the ship over there.
It's not.
But there's a couple of guys. Garrett Crochet he's the nastiest pitcher I saw this year.
If they keep him and don't trade him this offseason.
He was so dirty. And people were getting mad at the Padres. I was sitting.
No one was hitting that stuff.
I was sitting.
No one was hitting that stuff on Friday.
I was like 40 yards from him, watching him pitch, and I went, oh my God, that big leg kick. Nasty, dude.
And Sean Burke yesterday
was
in his
filthy.
third major league appearance.
That's insane.
I thought he looked outstanding, working the corners.
How do we
up.
trade for one of those
hitting
guys?
his spots, allowed just 2 hits in 6 innings.
And the guys in the bullpen were really, really
yeah,
good, man.
I was the same with you. They kept bringing
what?
in a guy with
99.
a whip of 1.07 and an ERA of 2 point something. I'm going, how on earth has this team lost 120 games?
There's 3 guys I would switch out for guys in our bullpen today with guys from the White Sox bullpen. So again, I know that they're going through it right now, but they really played hard. And again, it's a testament to our guys and how hard they played. And I just, I saw it a lot. Oh man, they're not taking this team seriously. No, they were. They're taking it very seriously. They just ran in some really good pitching and still managed to get 3 wins, and they had to scratch out 2 of them, I would say. 2 of them were scratches.
Congratulations to you, Darvish, on the 2000th career strikeout. He actually pitched really well, 6 1/3, just 3 hits. Just happened that 2 of them left the yard for solo shots, which put him in line for a loss until the Padres got him off the hook later in the game. But you continue to see you stretching out. He was really under no pitch limits yesterday. Asked to go back out in the 7th, and Mike Schultz said, yeah, go out and get that first right-hander. Got him to pop out, and then they took him out of the game. But certainly a good sign moving into the playoffs that you is getting sharper. Use that. The slider still got, I think one of the home runs came off that slider.
Yeah.
That's been the one kind of iffy pitch. I think he tried to work it in a little bit more yesterday. We'll see where he lands in the postseason, what's most effective. He got a lot of swing and miss, though, on some of those other breaking balls, whether it's his sweeper or whatever he calls it, the ones that he kept down in the zone looked really sharp, that off-speed stuff yesterday. So some good performance by you, Darvish. Offensively, Jurickson's Oppo shot was great. He's heating up again after a cold August. He suddenly got hot again here in September, so it's good to see that at-bat that he had after the Arise pinch double where he got the sacrifice fly. He worked hard for that one, battled, fouled pitches off, got the wild pitch to get the guy over to third, and then poked that one to deep right. That was a heck of an at-bat by Profar.
You know what I'm going to say?
Yeah. Glad he didn't bunt early in the at-bat.
You know what I was thinking, though? So now you swing away. Now you do. Not the that's the time. If you're going to do it, that's the time.
No. I mean,
if you're going to do it, if
you want him to bunt the runner over to third.
I never want him to bunt.
Okay.
But he bunts. He's a bunter. He said it. I bunt. I know what I'm doing. Fine. All right. Why in the 3rd and not the 8th?
Well, but that's the reason why we don't like the play, because
right.
You got him over to third without having to do anything, and then you had a chance to drive him in.
To knock him in.
And if you had bunted on the first pitch,
yeah,
that would have erased that opportunity that you wouldn't have had otherwise.
Again, my point is that he should have bunted. I never want him to bunt, but he's a bunter, and he didn't bunt then. So he always keeps me guessing, and that's why I love him so.
And then Fernando, who hit one earlier in the game that was too high, the old too high, died at the warning track. Hit another super, super high fly ball, but that one I think he realized he had it. He kind of came out of the box, and he was pretty sure that even though it only went about 3 rows deep,
I was just gonna say,
he felt like he was pretty sure about it.
He looked, I would say, on a confidence meter of 1 to 100, 112 when he hit it. I was like, oh, that's upper deck. That's off the sign. That's off the scoreboard. And then it goes, dribbles over into the 2nd or 3rd row. I went, all right, man, like you better be sure. But yeah, he got all of it. When he turned to the crowd in the dugout and raised his arms, I did get a little misty-eyed, man, for that moment. It was pretty cool.
And then I thought maybe the most interesting part of the game with Tanner Scott having been used the past couple of days, Robert Suarez was back out for another save opportunity. First one since he blew the save on Friday. Again, got the first 2 outs, then gave up the single that put the tying run at home plate, just like on Friday with a chance. Home run ties it. But this time, instead of going with the fastball on 2 strikes, he goes with the changeup, gets Gavin Sheets with some nasty movement. I mean, it's not like he doesn't have a secondary pitch. That's a really good
filthy
secondary pitch. He just doesn't break it out that often, but certainly worked yesterday. And while I know that Padres fans rightfully still have some concern about Robert Suarez, Mike Schilt remains pretty confident in what he's got there. And I'm curious to see what the closer situation will be going forward from this point on after what we saw this weekend.
Yeah, I go back and forth on it, but I do think matchups are important, and especially in October, like your roles are really not defined. I don't think you can have the defined role in October, Ben. I think there's so many moves that are going to be made and so much strategy that has to be employed in October. I really do. And again, we've talked about, and we don't know who we're facing. So once we look at who we're facing, I think then you can kind of start looking and going, all right, like let's just play manager. If it were me, and you've got Alonso and then blah, blah, blah after, yeah, maybe that's a good time for Suarez. If it's blank, blank, and blank, maybe I'm going to Tanner Scott there. It's so nice to have a double barrel like that.
Well,
that
and
can come in and
the
be
numbers
nasty.
have been pretty clear that both guys are more effective coming off a day's rest.
Yes.
So is it possible you alternate your
Potentially.
closers in the playoffs
But-
when you don't have an off day?
But the other thing is this. I mean, the way that Morahone stepped up this weekend is encouraging. So then maybe Morahone, if you need to give Scott a day, Morahone can then come in and be the guy that gets out lefties in the 7th or 8th inning, right? Instead of Tanner Scott, if you know you got to give him a day. But the other way of thinking is, this is the playoffs. Go with your horses. Yuki Matsui still on this team? He hasn't pitched in 2 weeks.
I was thinking about that yesterday.
2 weeks?
I haven't seen him. I think it's been longer than that.
They're not playing a lot of
He hasn't pitched
non-close
since Saturday,
games.
September 7th.
It is the 23rd. So,
Well, like the playoffs, you won't need every pitcher
correct,
in the playoffs.
correct. And that you ride your horses.
Yeah.
And
There-
it's hard because you're riding some of them now.
One great moment from yesterday we didn't talk about, I will bring up next. We'll play Take on Woods ahead on 97.3 The Fan. Maybe the best moment of the day yesterday actually happened after the game, when Padres players came back out onto the field to tip their caps to the 56th sellout crowd of the season, setting a new all-time Padres attendance record.
By comparison, I saw a stat over the weekend that somebody sent out, like SNY New York, said, oh, the 6th sellout at Citi Field this year. Sixth in New York City. The 6th sellout. So, pretty incredible, Padres
After
fans.
the game, and I forget, I'm sorry which player it was, but they were interviewing him on ESPN, and he said, I mean, it is so incredible when these fans show up and make this kind of noise. I mean, this is such a great place to play. But there was clearly that when the fans show up, because they haven't done it as consistently as Padres fans have done it. There are other good fan bases who are loud and supportive of their teams.
Sure.
There just hasn't been really any as consistent as Padres fans over these last couple of seasons. Set an attendance record last year, broke it this year. And Padres fans, pretty incredible the way that you have supported this team. And I got the sense, and obviously, all teams will thank their fans and, do what they have to do at the end of the season. I got the sense that it was extremely genuine on the part of Mike Schilt and all the players yesterday. They didn't just do it because it's the last game and that's what you're supposed to do, that they really wanted to say thank you, because we're probably not where we are here without your day in, day out support, giving us this home field advantage, this lift, when you're tired over 162, but you look up and you see 45,000 out there, that's going to give you that extra edge that you've got to get it done.
And we acknowledge the fans today, and tip of the hat to the fans. I mean, we still got more to come, but let's acknowledge, record-breaking, home attendance record and the crowd that supports us that we're so grateful for. And, we're not done, but we do want to. It was good we were able to acknowledge that their support and their passion and their love for us, because it means a lot to us.
You should give him the opportunity Friday to list each one by name.
Each fan.
Each fan. I want to thank Mike.
Mike, I know you
Fred,
want to thank the fans.
John,
If you want
Bill,
to single out
Tony,
anyone, go ahead.
Kirsten, Holly. We couldn't have done it without y'all. I just name after name. We're like, all right, Mike, we're leaving for the day. Just you can keep going right through Craig and Annie's show. Just keep listing them. It was amazing. It was an amazing stat. 3 million plus out there at little old Petco Park, just crushing it this year. So well done, Padres fans.
Really nice moment. Saturday's game was also good performance. Probably the least stressful of the games. Not that it was, certainly decided early, but.
Yeah.
Martin Perez, the guy who probably doesn't have a spot in the playoff rotation at this point, the fifth guy.
Which is so unfortunate because he's just been so good.
5 1/3, 2 hits, 1 run, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. He's 5-5 on the season, but the stat I think that's most critical here is the Padres are now 9-1 in the 10 games he has started since they acquired him at the trade deadline for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Remember, those starts before the trade deadline were being taken by Adam Mazur.
Yeah.
And the Padres were losing most of them.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden flipped it. And now instead of the fifth starter being a black hole, it's a spot where you're winning 90% of the time. And by the way, the one that he lost, he pitched shutout baseball.
Correct.
That was wasn't that the Grand Slam game?
Grand Slam game.
Yeah.
I was there.
They were up 3-0.
Yeah.
That was an easy win. And that's the only one that they have lost that he has started since they acquired him. So what an amazing under-the-radar pickup by A.J. Preller at the trade deadline.
A total throw-in, the comparisons to Rich Hill last year, like, oh, all right, well, whatever. But the way that he's come in, and again, you watch that in-game interview he did last week, and you go, yep, what a perfect cultural fit for this team. Like, he absolutely came in. He wants to win. He knows the task at hand. He's been amazing. He's been incredible. And whoever would have thought that when you get to the Martin Perez start, you're like, I know exactly what I'm signing up for today. 5 innings minimum, 2 runs max. Like, he's just been so consistent and really fun as hell to watch. He's an enjoyable watch. He pounds his own. He had that little where he kind of lost the plot there for for like a couple
Walked
of
a
innings,
couple of guys back to back.
Yeah. But other than that, man, he has been phenomenal. So again, credit to him certainly, but credit to Ruben, credit to AJ for picking them up.
Need a contestant for Take on Woods. Going to play here in about 4 or 5 minutes if you want to call. Now's the time, 833-288-0973. It's head-to-head musical trivia with our champ over here, Stephen Woods. Give us a call, 833-288-0973. You can qualify for our grand prize trip to Las Vegas. Offensively, Padres did play from ahead that game. Xander Bogaerts with the 2-run homer in the second inning off Chris Flexen. Got him off to a good start on Saturday night. David Peralta added the solo home run in the fourth. Jackson Merrill, RBI single in the fifth, coming through in the clutch. Padres built that 4-0 lead. Got a little shaky in the bullpen, in the eighth inning especially. Jason Adam, who has been so lights out good.
Unhittable almost.
Just lost his command a little bit. There were some close pitches in there, but ended up walking home a run in a third of an inning and leaving the bases loaded for Tanner Scott, who comes in and huge pitch there in inducing the double play to get out of the inning, and then ended up finishing off the 5-out save. And you're kind of wondering, well, does that mean we've changed closers now that Tanner Scott got his 22nd save? Of course, now in hindsight, we know Robert Suarez got the save yesterday, so now maybe the Padres just have two closers.
We just have closers. We just have extra closers.
For a lot of shortstops, we have a lot of closers.
The team built of comprised entirely of shortstops and closers. All right, I like my chances.
And I thought maybe something to chew on from that game. You saw Elias Diaz hitting his first Padres home run there in the eighth inning. And while Higgy has established himself as the starter, hasn't been hitting much lately, and Diaz, if he is coming on, he's a good defensive catcher as well. I wonder if there's any thought of more playing time for Diaz going forward, including potentially in the postseason as he becomes more comfortable with some of the guys in the starting rotation as well.
Yeah, and again, it's such a nice thing to have. You do wonder after 156 games, Higgy's taken on a lot more of a workload, I think, than he's accustomed to. And you could be running out of gas a little bit at the end of the year, and which is fine. This is why you have two catchers and really two capable catchers. I feel really comfortable with either of them in the lineup. Doesn't really matter to me. They're both probably going to hit in the 9-hole. So great. Give us some good defense. Try to throw out a base runner or two. Keep some runs from scoring, on some nasty pitches down in the dirt. Do your job there. I'm not really expecting much offensively from either, Ben. I mean, when you've got the lineup that the Padres have, it's just not going to be an issue going forward. I don't think. You just kind of rotate them and ride with the hot hand and the fresh legs.
All I know is if I am a backup catcher who has been struggling in Major League Baseball, I want AJ Preller to pick me up in the middle of a season.
100%. Yes. It's happened
just
so much.
Show up. I mean, Elias Diaz, Gary Sanchez, Jorge Alfaro. I mean, even
Kyle Higashioka.
I mean, where do these guys? They just blossom. For it's temporary.
Yeah,
it's just like
Higashioka was like the definition of a throw-in.
100%.
Like when that trade got announced, or even when it was being speculated, there was all the concern about is Michael King. He was the centerpiece. Is he going to be involved or not? Is he going to be included by the Yankees? And then you get Higashioka. You're like, who? Like, do we really need another catcher? Okay.
The only thing that was cool about it at the time was, well, at least he knows now 3 guys that are going to be on our staff, and we all thought Brito and Vasquez and King would. I mean, we thought legit. That's 2, 3, 4, 5 starters. So Higgy's got experience with these guys at least. That was the one kind of selling point. He's going to hit 10 home runs because he always hits 10 home runs. Well, he's exceeded that, and he's had some huge knocks for this team. I would love to see him get it going offensively again, because there was a time where that dude was starting rally after rally and finishing rallies, like clearing the bases and extra base hits. So, again, I'm really comfortable with both of those guys back there, and I think AJ did a really nice job snagging Diaz and of course, snagging Higgy as well.
All right, we will continue. We can talk about Friday's dramatic game in a little bit, but right now we got some callers on the line. Let's get to today's game of Take on Woods. Take on Woods brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. It only takes 15 minutes. You don't have to get out of your car. For directions and discounts, go to SoCalOilChange.com. That's SoCalOilChange.com. Let's try line 1. Is this David?
Yes, good morning, guys.
Good morning, David. How are you? What's up?
Excellent. Just hanging out.
All right, you've got a chance here to qualify for our 2-night stay at the Wynn or Encore Las Vegas and 2 tickets to the Wynn Las Vegas Spectacular Awakening. Get your tickets now at awakening.com. All you need to do is beat or tie Woods in our 5-question musical trivia challenge. He has left the studio. He doesn't hear this part of the game. 5 questions, and you get to choose our category. Your choices are Below the Waist, 5 songs that include a lower half body part in the title. Happy Days, 5 songs that include the word days. And we've got If at First. We have another 5 song titles that begin with the word if. We had one last week as well. So Below the Waist, Happy Days, or If at First. David, what would you like to play?
Let's go with If.
If at First. All right. We had one last week. Let's try it again. If at first you don't succeed, then you try another category with song titles that begin with the word if. You'll have 60 seconds, David. If you don't know one, you can pass. We'll come back to it at the end of the clock. First question's the 2-second song. Paulie's going to play you some music. You need to give me that title that starts with if and the artist to score that point. 2-parter for the first one. Are you ready to play?
Yep, I'm ready.
Paul, you good? All right. 60 seconds on the clock.
Come on, David.
Woods outside. Your time begins when Paul plays the music, the category If at First. Good luck, David. Let's take on Woods.
Yeah.
Sheryl Crow's final top 10 hit was which song in which she pondered, "Then why the hell are you so sad?"
Got.
The top charting hit for Matchbox 20, which song did Rob Thomas write shortly after meeting his future wife, but then was unable to see her for several weeks?
Bad.
Which 1993 song with an 8-word title earned Sting multiple Grammy nominations, including a win for Best Male Vocal Performance?
Go back to the first one again.
Go back. All right, we haven't even got to the 5th one yet. The B-side to And I Love Her, which 1964 Beatles song did John Lennon call his first attempt at a ballad proper?
If I Could Hold Your Hand.
Incorrect. Go back to the 2-second song. Oh, tough category today,
All right,
David.
hang on,
I'm sorry.
hang on. Guys, if you're listening right now in your car, on YouTube, on the app, wherever, we need you to come through a little bit. That's like 3 or 4 zeros.
This was a tough category. I think Woods
in a
will have.
row.
I think Woods may struggle. Stay on the line, David. Maybe we'll have our first ever 0-0 game. Have we ever had one? I don't think we have. Did we have one?
I think we have.
Maybe one. It's always possible. Woods doesn't get the category, makes it a little tougher. All right, let's put 60 seconds back on the clock. Woods, your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck. Let's take on David.
If You Leave by OMD.
Correct. Sheryl Crow's final top 10 hit was which song in which she pondered, "Then why the hell are you so sad?"
If It Makes You Happy.
Correct. The top charting hit for Matchbox 20, which song did Rob Thomas write shortly after meeting his future wife, but was then unable to see her for several weeks?
Pass.
Which 1993 song with an 8-word title earned Sting multiple Grammy nominations, including a win for Best Male Vocal Performance?
Not The Dream of the Blue Turtles. Pass.
The B-side to And I Love Her, which 1964 Beatles song did John Lennon call his first attempt at a ballad proper?
I don't know the category. If I Ever Lose My Faith in You is the Sting song.
Correct. That's 3.
Something if.
Yeah.
If.
Back to the top charting hits for Matchbox 20, which song did Rob Thomas? All right, you got 3, which is a win. David got shut out. It's a tough category. Another if category, If at First. So you got If You Leave by OMD, Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark, If It Makes You Happy, and you got If I Ever Lose My Faith in You. If You're Gone is Matchbox 20.
Don't know it.
And
If You're Gone.
And If I Fell is the Beatles ballad
If
proper.
I Fell. Okay.
So,
all right.
The chat is lighting you up to come up with some songs from this century, just one time. I mean, what's the most
Matchbox
recent
20
song?
is sort of close to this century, right?
You know, you guys can write
2000s.
categories.
That one was probably late 90s.
You guys can write
Was
your
it
own
late
categories.
90s, early
and
2000s maybe?
Send it to Ben. You can do that. People have done that. You can contribute. Right?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, you
People
like
have
it.
sent me categories before. But, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of older music and Take on Woods.
Yeah, there is.
It keeps everybody kind of in the game because I'll have to admit that I would think younger people can know older music better than older people
Correct.
can know newer music. Including the person who puts together the categories, who hasn't heard of some of the new songs, makes it harder for me to necessarily include them in some of the questions.
Yeah, I mean, when I was...
I try to, though. I do try.
When I was younger, I listened to older music. I'm older, and I listen to older music. That's just how it works.
Now, I put country music in, which almost never gets those right.
I can get
I
those
try
right.
to move around some genres. I've done hip-hop. I move them around.
Yeah, I mean,
But
maybe
there's
the
not-
game's run its course.
I've
come up with a better game, we'll do that.
I've done newer categories. No one does well. Woods doesn't do well. The contestants don't do well. It's just been tough.
Yeah, that's fine.
But
I think you
Paulie,
do a great job.
I certainly understand the complaint.
Hey,
from-
I'm just the messenger.
Yeah, don't kill the messenger, Ben.
Fair enough. Former Padre is in the crosshairs of Don't Do This today.
What the hell happened?
This is definitely a talker, guys. This is definitely a talker. What happened to our old pal, C.J. Abrams, over the weekend.
That is coming up next after a check of traffic with Kelly. Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
Hamul Casino. Fun above all else.
All right, here we go.
Black 17 on.
That is my number. All right, hit me.
Hamul Casino. Fun above all else.
All right, before we get to old friend C.J. Abrams, we're going to start Don't Do This with our newer friend, Woods, Stephen Coronado.
Yeah, a lot of people, my text, our buddy Max said, bro, you got to put on Sammy's postgame right now. And I was at home poring over a lineup card for my 6U baseball team, so I couldn't turn it on at the time. But this happened.
Let's go to Coronado. It's Steve on the Padres postgame show. Steve, go ahead.
Hi, Sam. Glorious night. Padres winning, Dodgers losing. And I want to talk about the playoffs that are coming up. I've won a major sports championship myself, and the Padres can get an edge over all the other teams in the playoffs if they
Let me
learn
guess.
to do one thing.
I bet I know what it is.
Stealing
I've
bases.
seen in playoff series so many times where you have a short playoff series and you're in the 8th inning, 9th inning, or extra innings, and you've got a runner at third base with less than 2 outs, and the hitter at the plate really has no clue because they haven't practiced laying down a bunt for all season long. They have no clue about how to lay down a suicide squeeze, which is about 10 to 20 feet in front of home plate where nobody is to drive in that winning run. So the Padres, they started practicing on that like 5 minutes a day.
They do.
And were graded on
You
it.
know that.
And Mike Schilt got the grades. The Padres would have the edge going into the playoffs to go and win it all and win the World Series 2024 this year.
All right, Steve. Well, hey, you know what? And appreciate the phone call. Steve, you know what? I'll tell you this. During BP, typically, they do at least lay down a bunt or two before they start swinging. And, hey, we've seen the Padres bunt quite a bit as of late. So, I'm sure it's something they work on from time to time.
They do.
They not only work on it, they are arguably the best team in baseball at it. At the highest level of baseball that exists.
I think he's just mad that Mike Schilt doesn't tweet out the grades after the practice. You know what I mean? Like, they do this. Against my better judgment, I told Mike Schilt about it. I asked him about it live on the radio. And he said that they do practice it, and they do watch it, and they do work on it, and they do try it a lot. I will tell you this. If they win a World Series on a suicide squeeze, I will eat Paul's hat. Just eat it. Just over ketchup, mustard.
They might win a World Series
100%.
on a suicide squeeze bunt because they've done them before this season successfully.
Yep.
And they practice it.
Yeah.
But as Mike Schultz said, there's only so many hours in the day. And if we spend 30 minutes practicing
He
bunting,
said 5. They do 5 at least.
we won't be able to practice hitting, which is I think arguably more important.
I also
than
want to
bunting.
know what major sports championship so badly.
Well, he told me he
sports
won the
championship.
Coronado Golf Championship,
Is that
and
what
then
it
he
is?
offered to help me with my golf game as well.
Is that a major sports
I
championship?
don't think that I would consider that one of the majors. I mean,
see that trophy over there? Did Paulie and I win a major? Paulie, hold it up for the camera. Did we win a major sports championship?
GD, right? We did.
The lower level 18 single A MSBL championship.
apparently Steve won the 1987 Australian Open men's singles tennis title. Oh, no, he didn't.
No, he didn't. And
It was probably Bjorn Borg or something.
like if he said, I won the College World Series on a suicide squeeze, then I would be like, all right. But if you won a golf thing, I don't know. You know how I feel about it. It's convoluted.
All right. Let's get to this next story. Came out on Saturday that the Washington Nationals were demoting C.J. Abrams, former Padre and all-star shortstop, for the rest of the season. In fact, they're sending him to their minor league complex back in West Palm Beach, Florida, since the minor league season is over. So he's just going to sit there
Go to
for
the
last
complex and
last
learn.
week and go to the complex. Why? Well, I mean, he has been struggling some
Well,
in the second half of the season.
He had, but as of late, people were posting like, yeah, he was batting like .412 or something over his last 10,
So that
12
wasn't
games.
it.
Like, that was not it.
And while Dave Martinez, the manager of the Nationals, said, I'm not going to give specifics or talk about specifics because I need to keep these guys and everything on the down low,
Well,
it turns out that Abrams, during the series against the Cubs, and they had a Friday 2 o'clock game in Chicago.
105, I think.
105?
Yeah.
So, yeah, because Central Time, 2 o'clock Eastern, 105 Central, was out the Thursday night before, all the way into Friday morning at the Bally's Casino in the Chicago area, playing roulette and craps, and did not leave until 8 a.m. And team officials weren't too happy about
For
that.
a 1 o'clock game, 8 a.m., you're still at the casino. It's not the best look. Again,
Maybe he just woke up early at like 7 a.m.
and went down to play. Okay.
No, he was there the night before, they said.
Yeah, they got pictures of him.
Oh.
Yeah, there's actually photographic evidence. So here's the thing. Anybody thinking that this is a first-time disciplinary offense, I think you're probably mistaken, right? This is not something that happens willy-nilly, as it were. This is maybe an ongoing pattern. Look, I think that inherently he did not break one single law. Not one
No,
single
but
law.
I think they do have a curfew rule for the Washington
So
Nationals
I
of some sort.
maybe the Nationals do, but I saw plenty of ex-big leaguers going, "What curfew are you talking about?" Like, there's,
yeah, I mean, you're grown-ups.
Yeah, you're grown-ups.
Part of me was just thinking the same thing
You know?
as well. I mean, if you can go out and produce and perform, and that is what you want to do in your off time, who are the Nationals or anyone else to say what you can and can't do in your time off?
I mean, people were making the comparisons. I guess you guys have never heard of Michael Jeffrey Jordan, who used to not only before a game go play 36 holes, he would also crush like 14 beers during that. But he's Michael Jordan. You're not. You're not Michael Jordan. And so I think this is probably a, hey, man, we're really glad to have you, and you're a really good player, but don't forget, you still have a job to do. You have a week. There's a week left in the season. You're more than welcome to go back, gamble, do whatever you want when the season's over. I understand their position, and I think it is hopefully he learns a valuable lesson from it and says, now you're probably right, man. I should not be out till 8 a.m. When I have a 1 o'clock game.
To just demote him and send him to the complex. That pretty immediately told me, okay, they've told him a few times before, hey, buddy, you can't be out after curfew. You can't be out at the casino. Whatever he's been doing, this was not the very first time.
Yeah, Michael G says Nationals beat writer said he's had multiple talking tos about his off the field activity. I heard some of it when he was here too. It is what it is, man. That's a really cool profession that you have, and the season is long and it is arduous. It's tough. 162 games. I can't even pretend to know what that's like. Guy goes out to blow off some steam. You lose track of time in a casino. Certainly, it's meant for that. But 8 a.m. you got to have a better. You've got to watch. You've got a phone. You need to get your ass back to the hotel and get some rest.
And even if you can perform that way, the optics are really bad.
Yeah, for sure.
Of being out that late. You're in a business that's got fans that see you out there.
They're
I know
taking
that
pictures.
their
Well, you just
season's
gotta
over, but yeah,
you got to be smart.
Exactly.
You know they're going to get you,
Finally, a little quick do this here on a Monday.
DD Mega Doo-Doo.
Did mention it earlier, but congratulations. Yu Darvish on his 2000th career Major League strikeout. First Japanese-born pitcher to reach that milestone in the big leagues. But I also wanted to congratulate one Mike Shildt, who with his 90th win of the season yesterday becomes, out of the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of managers who have performed that job at the big league level, just the 14th manager in history to win 90 games in each of his first 3 full seasons as manager. Went 91 and 71 with the Cardinals in 2019.
First manager to do it with 2 teams.
And 2 different teams as well.
I think a bunch of others, there's several others have done
Well,
it.
You know why
90
that
wins
is?
in their first 3 years.
Because every other manager who won 90 games in their first 2 seasons with a team wasn't fired. They were like happy and kept them.
They stayed there for 3 years.
They stayed there for 3 years. But then after the short season in 2020, went 90 and 72 in 2021, and now 90 and 66 with the Padres here in 2024.
Got a boy,
with
Shildt.
6 more to go. Congratulations to Mike Shildt, a
Really
very
cool.
exclusive group. In fact, a group of 1 from Paulie's perspective.
I'd like to see him win 96 this year. That would be fantastic.
How fantastic is that?
It would be very fantastic.
They'd be putting
Mike.
up a banner somewhere at Petco Park if they did that.
Correct.
That's correct.
And that is Don't and Do This for a Monday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
Well, Shilty had to do some managing on Friday night, that's for sure. In the late innings, as the Padres were forced to go extras against the Chicago White Sox.
Right.
Yes, the team that had lost 117 games coming into that series. We'll talk about Friday night's drama when we come back with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. So welcome to the newest Padre. Did not get to see him in the game yesterday, but he was added to the roster beforehand. Nick Ahmed, the shortstop, joins the team. He was activated and added to the 40-man roster as well when Johnny Brito was placed on the 60-day injured list. Mason McCoy was placed on the 10-day injured list to make room on the 26-man roster for Nick Ahmed. Woods, do we expect to see Nick Ahmed playing a key role for the Padres this week and potentially in the postseason?
It's a great question. I'm just happy for Nick Ahmed because now he's played for. Has he played for
everyone but the Rockies?
Everybody
I
but the
think.
Rockies.
Yeah,
Okay,
in
so
NL West.
Done the Dodgers.
Well, within the last year, he's played for every team but
Giants,
the Rockies.
the
in the NL
Dodgers,
West.
the Diamondbacks, and now the San Diego Padres. I don't know that he would sign with the Rockies unless he got desperate. Yeah, I mean, we had not seen Mason McCoy at all in a while, then with Xander sliding over to short, but sure, a guy in the late innings that can absolutely pick it. I mean, 2 Gold Gloves. Nick Ahmed doesn't do much well on a baseball field, except he knows how to play shortstop really, really well. So I don't know if he's going to get any
gives
starts
you
week,
some
but
flexibility late in the games.
Yeah.
If you pinch run for anybody, you can either put Ahmed in at short, and you can slide Xander back over to second, or if you're whatever you're doing there gives you some opportunities to move people around.
No doubt, and I think that the flexibility is every championship team has that, and it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what the first round playoff roster looks like. Do you need a Lockridge and a Wade on the same roster? I'm not sure. You might, but they're going to have some decisions to make. And anytime you can get a two-time Gold Glover to come shore up the defense, I think for not a lot of money, you take it. So I don't know if he's going to be getting starts or anything like that. I would doubt it.
Viva Padres in the chances. I read that Kim is returning. I don't think you read that because I don't think anyone in the Padres knows 100% with certainty that Ha-Seong Kim will be back.
Schulte said he had a
really good day.
Really, 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 really good day on Friday, I believe. So, maybe, if you want to read between the lines there, but I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. If Nick Ahmed is the difference maker, fantastic. But I don't see him getting any starts. I think it depends too on what happens the next few games, obviously. So,
I mean, I think he's getting closer to returning, but I still think there are a couple of more hurdles he needs to clear before they're officially ready to welcome him back.
Well, and again, if Mason McCoy's hurt and they said he's got a back strain or something, then you need another infielder, I think, and so that's fine. Makes sense.
I also don't know that the Padres' current lineup isn't the best lineup that they can put out there.
I know, no kidding.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Ha-Seong Kim comes back if he's an everyday starter again at shortstop.
I mean, look, you look at yesterday's game and that Baroa throwing 99 miles an hour, and Donovan Solano comes in, rips one down the line, and there's your rally starter right there. Donovan Solano's a bat. If you can get him in there as much as you can over the next week, and then, of course, in the playoffs, I think you're pretty happy with that. So, you're going to have to mix and match. But, again, it's just more options for Schulte at this point. So, the lineup looks great. I mean, when Jake Cronenworth, who's scuffling right now, he gets a knockoff of Garrett Crochet, which has got to be the gnarliest AB for a lefty, that one of them that you can take in the big leagues. Maybe number one. I mean, who's a tougher, nastier left-handed pitcher than that guy? He's filthy. Of course, he gets a knock off him. But yeah, man, if you got Jake Cronenworth hitting in the eight hole, it's a pretty good lineup.
All right, we will talk about that night, the Garrett Crochet matchup on Friday that turned out to need 10 innings to decide. Right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is brought to you by Air Max, San Diego's highest-rated heating and air company. Visit them at airmax.com. Traffic's still very slow for you on that northbound side of the 805 up to this earlier accident before University, but it's out of there, so hopefully we'll see an improvement soon. And northbound side of the 5 cleared an accident near H Street. Southbound 5, we saw this rollover crash right before the 8 vehicle went up in the bushes over to the right shoulder. It looks like a fence may have gotten knocked down in the process, so just watch out for a little activity there. Southbound side of the 5, right before the 8. Looking for the best in HVAC? Choose Air Max, San Diego's highest-rated heating and air company with free diagnostics on all repairs and estimates. See why over 1,300 happy customers have given Air Max 5-star Yelp reviews. See Air Max today at airmax.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Runner on second, 2 down. Here's the 9th pitch of the at-bat. Sosa swings, hits it in the air to deep left field. Profar is back to watch. It's going to go. A 2-run homer for Lenyn Sosa, and the White Sox, down to their final strike, have tied it here in the 9th inning.
Well, that was unfortunate on Friday night when you felt like the Padres, nothing was going to stop them. Once Jackson Merrill blooped in that 2-run double or single, whatever it was, and they scored, you felt like, all right, they've got this one. Bullpen did its job. They're getting all the way to Suarez in the 9th inning, gets the first 2 outs, and you're, okay, here we go. And then, boom, walk, 2-run home run. And all of a sudden, it is stress time at Petco Park, Woods. You were at that game, correct?
Yes. It was nauseating.
I didn't see the proof of life post at the end of the 10th inning.
You didn't ask for one.
I didn't.
No.
Were you there?
No. I was on my way home. Been a long day. It was a 3 a.m.er.
Yeah.
You don't want me there. I'm bad. I'm such bad luck. I probably won't go to any games. I really am. I just feel like I'm bad luck. So I go to start. I was there for a while. I was there to like the 7th, which is a long time for me. And now about the 8th. And then I started.
You saw Jackson Merrill's.
What happened?
You saw his 2 RBI.
Yeah, I walk out and I start talking to people and shooting the breeze and then kind of matriculate my way down to the parking lot and finally get out of there. A little bit of traffic. But, yeah, man, it's...
Saw a good pitching performance from Joe Musgrove as well as Garrett Crochet. 6 innings, 4 hits, 9 strikeouts. Gave his team a real good shot to win that game. But you missed the fireworks at the end.
Yeah, I don't... I watched Garrett Crochet pitch and I thought, holy cow, I know he's got all the, he's a converted reliever. Looks pretty good. He's going to have how many strikeouts in 140 innings or something, like over 200 or 200? I mean, he's nasty. He's one of the nastiest pitchers I've seen this year. And they had no chance against him. I mean, he was absolutely filthy.
Luckily that they're being careful with him because they took him out after just 52 pitches in 4 innings. You'd hate to think they had to face 7 or 8 innings of that guy because they may have never scored against Garrett Crochet. But after Robert Suarez allowed the home run, and we talked a little bit about him bouncing back yesterday with the save and mixing up his pitches a little bit, not just going fastball, especially on a long at-bat. When you get to 9 and 10 pitches, you can't let the same major league batter time you up 10 times and then, get a chance to hit a home run. That's baseball 101 right there.
Yeah.
But what you did see then in the top of the 10th inning, I thought the most impressive part of that game, Adrian Morejon coming in with the free runner on second base.
Brilliant.
And yes, it's not a good White Sox lineup, but that is as high of a leverage situation as Morejon has seen. And he's gotten his chances, especially earlier in the year before the trade deadline, at a few, 7th, 8th inning setup guys. He's been in extra innings, but this one in particular, to me, with, the pressure of the playoff chase and knowing you don't want to win every game of this series, but you certainly don't want to lose the first game of this series. To get through that inning and give the Padres a chance to win it in the bottom of the 10th, that's got to be a huge confidence boost for Adrian Morejon and for the Padres in Adrian Morejon.
Yeah, no question. And, another good outing yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yesterday. He's been great. He was great. He's had a couple of hiccups this year. Who doesn't? What reliever does not? And is kind of finding a little role there and earning some of Mike Schultz's trust. And yeah, man, it's all good right now. It's all good right now with 6 left to play. And it's going to be interesting to see how they deploy that bullpen this week. It's going to be interesting to see, just all of it. I mean, this week of baseball. We're all treated to an extra. It's basically playoffs start tomorrow. I mean, that's kind of how it feels. And you saw it around baseball this weekend. The Mets-Phillies game last night. I obviously have a rooting interest. But when Matt Strahm struck out, was it Alonso? I don't know. When Matt Strahm had the big K to end the inning, I found myself yelping at the TV. I mean, we were all treated to a full extra week of this. It's going to be better.
I mean, look,
it's gut check time.
If your goal as a fan was just to get into the dance,
yeah, you're good.
Then you can kind of coast this week.
Yeah, you can coast this week.
I mean, we talked about it earlier. 99.99% chance of getting into the playoffs.
You're getting in.
I would probably tell you that every single player involved with the Padres, coaching staff, everybody, they're not coasting. The division, a bye, like a 1 or a 2 seed, it's all still in front of them.
It's right there.
So yeah, these games are going to matter.
And now that you control it, hey, we control it. We don't really need any help. We just go out and win one game and then we're in. I don't know, man. I got a DM yesterday from somebody. I was in line at the grocery store. He said, Woodsy, I'm going up to the game in L.A. Can you encourage fans to go up and flood Dodger Stadium? And I said, I can do my best. But you guys can go up to L.A. and root on the boys.
My buddy invited me to Thursday night. I said, no, thank you.
I mean, I'm sure there will be some Padres fans who planned in advance to do that.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know that last minute it's going to be that possible. I assume the Dodgers fans know how big this series is as well, and there will be a lot of them who will be going to those games knowing that this is a huge series. They're trying to clinch, by the way. They can clinch the division. They've already clinched a playoff spot, but they can clinch the division by winning the series. If they take 2 out of 3 from the Padres, they will clinch the NL West. Anything less, and it'll wait until at least the weekend if they get that opportunity. Of course, if the Padres sweep, the Padres will move into first place. They'll have the tiebreaker and will be matched with the Dodgers with the final 3. And all they'll have to do is match the Dodgers over those last 3 games. The Dodgers will go to Coors Field. The Padres, of course, wrap up in Arizona at Chase Field against the Diamondbacks. But if they win those next 3, they'll have their destiny in their own hands.
Rockies played them pretty tough, had a chance to win yesterday. I turned that game on after the Padre game ended and clinging to a 1-run lead. And,
very similar to the previous game, which I watched as well, where they had the 1-run lead, but then added on the Charlie Blackmon home run in the top of the 9th.
Yeah.
This time they didn't add on, and it was 1-run game with Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, and Freddie Freeman scheduled to come up in the 9th inning.
Yeah, and again, this is I understand it. I understand you've got some pitching injuries and all of that, but still not going to feel sorry for you guys, man. You look
Those
at
gritty underdogs.
You look at what steps up to the plate in the bottom of the 9th inning, and it's Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts. You didn't need to get to Freddie Freeman and Will Smith and the rest of the crew. You look at their bullpen, and I know they've faltered a little bit this year as well, as does every pen. I see just star after star after star, guys that throw hard. No one really can feel sorry for you. You really can't, because you can't give me, in the 6 years of us covering this team, you can't give me how smart, diligent, on point, brilliant, deep you are. That's all I hear. And I've heard it from hosts on this station. I've heard it on hosts on other station. I hear it, you read it in the newspaper. You can't have it both ways. If you ran out of pitching at the end of the year, nobody's going to feel sorry for you, because you still have the best player in the world. And behind him, maybe the second best player in the world. So, listen, it just, watching that yesterday, go, yeah, why would anyone feel sorry for these guys?
I was certainly hoping that the Rockies could get through that inning. I wasn't expecting it, though. In fact, I don't know what the, like the StatCast win percentage said, but I wouldn't have been surprised if the Dodgers were favored to win the game, even down one going to the bottom of the 9th inning with those three guys coming up.
Correct.
And honestly, when Shohei and Mookie hit the home runs, it was like, that's pretty much what I was expecting.
That's exactly what I expected.
Not shocked at all. So that kept the lead at 3. Padres did get some help from the Brewers, finally, who had dropped the first 3 games at home to the Diamondbacks. Thanks a lot, Milwaukee. They rallied from an 8-0 deficit yesterday in the 3rd inning to pull off a 10-9 win with 4 runs in the bottom of the 8th and at least salvage 1, which knocks the Diamondbacks 3 games behind the Padres, and Mets both 3 games behind the Padres in the race, at least for the first wild card spot and home field advantage. So Padres do have a good cushion now, 3 games going into this last week to make sure at least they're going to get games at home at Petco Park in the playoffs.
Anything can happen, though, man.
Anything can happen. All right, we'll come back. Second half of Ben and Woods. Sammy Levitt's going to join us coming up at 8:35. Talk more Padres baseball, get into maybe a little bit of football as well. All ahead next here on 97.3 The Fan. Don't go away.
All right, my friends, we are halfway home on Ben and Woods. It's 97.3, The Fan. My camera keeps following me everywhere I go.
How about you just sit still for
I
like 10
can't.
minutes?
You know I can't sit still, Paulie. I'm not a sit-still kind of guy. Good Lord, I'm moving, swinging, going to the bathroom. I like to move. Motion creates emotion. Have you guys never heard this before?
No, I have
Motion creates emotion.
Do you need emotion?
Yes.
You
What
have
do you
plenty.
think we do?
You have all kinds
This
of
is-
emotion.
This job just...
I should be the one who's probably moving around then.
We're the only station in here with a sit-down board, and it makes me insane. They say sitting is the new smoking, and I smoked forever, so I'm doubly screwed here, is what I'm telling you. I need to be able to stand up and move around a little, and the camera follows me everywhere I go. It's very strange. Well, good morning, everybody. Like I said, we're halfway home on a Monday, great Monday after a sweep. Vibes are high, certainly, in San Diego. The weather is a little bit dreary right now and gray, but not worried about it at
It'll
all.
burn off.
Life
It's supposed
is
to be hot this week.
Is it? Life is great right now. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl. He's the executive producer. Ben Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, joins us as well. And Ben and I are doing something after the show that has me very nervous.
Really?
Very.
You're nervous about
Oh, my
this?
God, dude. Yeah. Our buddy Matt, he reached out to Ben last week and said, hey, would you guys like to do, he's the Padres, he's our moderator on Padres Reddit. And he said, would you guys be interested in doing an AMA, Ask Me Anything? I guess it would be an AUA, Ask Us Anything, but we said, sure, always happy to help.
It's a good community of Padres fans.
Well,
Well, it's good to, expand our brand to as many platforms as possible.
I think the people there know about our brand. You know what I mean? They know that we exist. I don't think there's going to be any people in there going, I didn't know you guys. But they want to hear from us. But also, Reddit can be a very, very scary place, Benjamin. And I feel like the day that I took you to your first gentleman's establishment. You're walking in a little wide-eyed, and you don't really know what to expect. And so I'm a little bit nervous
I'll
about
give
it.
you a taste. They've already started posting some
God.
questions.
Oh,
Here's the
no.
very first one. They're pretty easy one to answer,
Okay.
actually.
All right.
Do you guys regularly frequent this subreddit? If so, do you ever laugh at any of the takes you read? Literally, we signed up like 2 days ago so we could do this AMA. But maybe now that we're here,
No. Don't.
we'll get
I'm
started.
telling you, don't do it.
If you ask good enough questions, we may stick around for a little more Redditing in the future.
See, that's interesting to me, though. You'll spend 12 hours a day on Twitter, but won't go on Reddit.
Yeah, but
Twitter's very toxic,
I'm not
too.
searching for it. It's not like...
I mean, Reddit looks like it's
You just
basically
join the Padres subreddit. You
It's
don't
like
have to search
Padres
for
Twitter,
anything.
and you don't get anything else at all. All you get is the Padres stuff. Excise
But I
all
like-
the rest of the
I
mess.
like more than the Padres
You want
stuff.
more than the Padres stuff.
I wouldn't have known about The Cure releasing their new song this Thursday called Alone, which I'm very excited about. First new
You would
music.
if you...
I was in The Cure Reddit.
If you're in the Cure's subreddit, you'd probably notice.
So, I don't know. I try not to, I used to be really into sitting there fighting about it all day. I'm like, no, that's not what I said. This is what I meant. So now I don't care anymore. We're doing great. Very happy. But, so anyway, we'll go in, read the questions and answer the ones that we choose. Is that right?
Yeah, we can
Okay.
choose whatever we want. We'll go for, 45 minutes, an hour after the show, answering all the questions. So if you are not a member, I'd assume you can sign up and join the Padres subreddit community and ask us anything.
Sure.
A little AUA. I like that.
Okay,
I haven't actually an A you guys something. I want to ask you guys a
Real
question.
quick, just because you mentioned Matt.
Yes, I saw
wanted
that.
to give a shout out to him and his wife Lena. They welcomed the newest Padres fan and future Tier 1, to the world over the weekend. So congratulations to them.
Congratulations. Matt is unable to moderate today. I mean, sometimes having a baby will do that to you.
He posted it was pretty scary. I
Yeah,
guess.
that's why he's not going to be there. But Kevin has stepped in and is going to moderate our AMA for
Hoping
us.
all the best for them.
No doubt.
So.
No doubt. So, Reddit, AMA, AUA coming up at 10 a.m. this morning.
All right, so here's my dilemma from yesterday, and I need to get your guys' opinion because I'm at odds with my fellow fantasy general manager, my son Jack.
Yes.
So in our fantasy football league this weekend, I am taking on Matt Scraby. And yesterday, I'm actually ahead. I have taken the lead by like a few points. I think I'm 7 or 8 points up on Scraby. Now, he doesn't have any players left. I still have the Bengals defense from Monday Night Football.
Bench.
And I said, well, you can get negative points. If they give up like 50, we could lose. So should I just bench the defense and take a 0? And he goes, that doesn't seem in the spirit of competition, that we should just leave it in there.
Yes, it does.
Sure it does.
So
You're locking down a W.
So you think, and but points can come down to tiebreakers at the end.
True.
And it's very rare that a defense takes a negative point total, especially minus 7 or 8. But it is possible. So you think I should just bench and take a 0
If you were up by
for my defense and take the win?
Yeah, I would
If
say
I was up by more, like
if you were up
20
by 20,
or 30,
I would say go for it.
But
and
because
add
it's
points.
within a few points, don't risk it and just bench my defense tonight.
I mean, bro, if you were up 6, I'd bench my quarterback. If
Yeah,
I was
no
like,
doubt.
if they
Trying
had
to win a
nobody
game.
left, I mean, all you need throws 3 picks. You never know.
Yeah,
Like,
you bench him.
It's not
You
worth
bench
it.
him. Be smart.
You just need the W.
Okay, just
smart.
I've got the W. I feel like Mike Schilt would bench the defense.
You'd have to.
Just take the win.
Take the win.
Go after the win
That's correct.
100%.
Yeah, the Raiders had -4 yesterday defensively, somebody said. So
I could absorb that.
You can absorb 4.
But not much more than that.
That's
At
right.
one
And
point,
could
I was
lose.
up 55 to -1 because the guy I'm playing,
Right.
Darren Feedy, he only had his kicker in at the time. He had all afternoon or evening games, and his kicker missed his first field goal.
Nice.
He's -1.
That's it. Yeah.
So
It's a no-brainer.
have I done something wrong as a father to raise a son who believes in like the fairness of competition? Like, no, you set the lineup, just let it play out, and if you lose, you lose, and if you win, you win. But you don't bench your defense.
Yeah, you're not cheating. You're not doing some secret ad drop or
Feels
something.
a little
or like,
bit, but had the Bengals played yesterday, I wouldn't have had this opportunity. I
Correct.
only have the opportunity because they're playing on Monday
well,
night.
I think that means you raised a good son. That is,
That's
know,
what I
in
was thinking,
favor
too.
of the spirit of competition.
But I am now cutting him off at the knees and going, no. We are guaranteeing the win by benching our defense.
Guess
tonight.
what? Cutting your kid off at the knees is the best part about being a father. There's nothing better. That and using them as an excuse to get out of doing things. Those are the 2 main benefits to having children. Oh my God. Yeah, somebody that I know had pitched a little fit about having to go play right field yesterday. And your boy almost got dragged off the field in the middle
Really?
of the game.
You didn't go the old, that's where Fernando Tatis Jr. plays.
Yeah, it's different in Pinto League.
True.
Believe me, I don't think a ball made its
No.
way out there. But somebody had a little attitude, and Dad might have had to lean down and say, hey, you're not that good yet. You still have to play right field. Me just said, you're not that good yet. And his little face, I was like, hey, man, I hate to tell it like it is, but you get to play right field just like everybody else gets to. And also, maybe it comes from a spot of somebody that was perpetually in right field for many, many years until I wasn't. So I think you're doing a good job, Ben. I think Jack is a logical, smart guy. He's like you. Jack, you got to be more logical
Yeah, we're
and
just
smart.
benching. We're benching the defense. Scraby is taking the L,
Good.
and it wouldn't be his first L because yesterday he took a massive L.
Ooh,
did you see that?
I did.
So Matt Scraby, who, if you listen to the afternoon program, big 49ers fan, like pretty diehard for the 49ers, actually went up to the game at SoFi Stadium yesterday to watch his team in person take on the Rams. They were up 14-0, 21-7. Big favorites, seemed to have the game well in hand. Had a field goal to lock it up with about 3-4 minutes to go. Missed it. Rams go down, score the tying touchdown, force the punt, take it back into field goal range, kick the field goal with 2 seconds left, and pull off one of the more stunning upsets and wins here early in the NFL season yesterday. And Matt Scraby had to watch it all from the corner of the end zone where he was sitting.
Not the best product, in my opinion, to watch live, the NFL. It's just not. I
Better
think
on
it's
TV.
Much better on TV. But, hey, listen, I get it. You want to go support your team and yell and scream and all that, too. But it sucks. I mean, you go up. That's one of those you expect you guys are going to win that game. And especially
the
with
Rams
all
were
the
without
injuries. Yeah.
Nakua and Cooper Kupp.
Yeah. But the Niners.
Tutu Atwell stepped in, did well.
The Niners had a couple guys out
Debo
as well.
and Christian McCaffrey were both out in the game yesterday.
I'd say
so.
could have been a wash, but you hate to go that far or that long of an ordeal, traffic and everything else. An NFL game is nuts, and to watch your favorite team, you're probably going to see maybe once, twice a year,
Yeah,
maybe
every other year.
every
or
other
something.
year.
They'll come. They'll come down once to SoFi, but I can't imagine he always gets to go up to that game.
It's not a good feeling at all. at all. So sorry about that, Scraby. But the NFL is just massively boring to me right now because baseball is just so hot. It's just so on fire right now. So I watched maybe 12 minutes of college and pros this week. I was super busy with soccer and baseball and all that. I didn't miss it. I
watched a little Red Zone yesterday morning once the Padre game was on. I really didn't watch anything until it was over, and I flipped on the end of the Rams game, and I watched a little bit. But that was about it. And I agree with you, and I think it's okay because I know the 49ers, even though they're 1-2, they're going to be there at the end.
They'll be there at the end.
These are early season games, and they're not that important. Even Bill Belichick will tell you September games aren't that important. It's how you're playing in November and December at the end of the season. And I know in the NFL it feels like every game is just massive because there's just one a week and you only play 17 a season. But the early season games are definitely, hey, you're not the team you're going to be yet. You just want to make sure you're moving forward in the right direction and trying not to get too many injuries.
Well, it's like every sport, man. It's not how you start. It's not how you start. It's how you finish. That's what matters the most. I had a kid yesterday, you guys, for my team, struck out the first 2 ABs of the game. Didn't come close to hitting a pitch and made an adjustment, got like 3 hits after that. And that's the first thing I said to him. I grabbed him after the game. I said, doesn't matter how you start, man. It's how you finish the game, and ended up winning that game. And he was a huge part of it. My man Jackson. So it's such a good lesson for sports fans and of any sport. It's really how you finish the season, how you finish the game that matters the most.
All right, let's take a timeout. When we come back, had our first end-of-season manager dismissal with a week to go yesterday, last night, if you missed that. And another one is expected in the next few days. Someone who is a friend to the program but is already talking about the end coming soon. So we'll get to all of that coming up after a check of traffic with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
Hamul Casino. Fun above all else.
All right, here we go.
Black 17 on.
That is my number. All right, hit me.
Hamul Casino. Fun above all else.
Right. We've got a breaking programming alert for you here on 97.3 The Fan.
We got big leagued.
We did.
Yeah.
By our own
Happens.
Sammy Levitt.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yep.
Who we have been so good to.
He's been really good
And he's
to
been
us,
really
too.
good to us.
It's a tit for tat situation.
But today, Sammy just informed us that he will be doing a local news segment, not on my station, but on another station that will not be named at 8:30.
The Fox 5.
I told you we're not going to name it.
Fox 5. He's going to be on Fox 5 in the mornings with them this morning. Right?
But he will.
Fox 5? Love Fox 5. My late father-in-law worked at Fox 5.
He also works at
Fox
Channel
5.
10.
By Fox 5.
Never.
Simply the best.
Fine.
My beloved Heather Lake, Chrissy Russo, tons of my favorites over
Troy
there.
Hirsch.
Troy Hirsch is
Love
amazing.
Troy.
Oh, my God, I love Troy Hirsch. That guy at fantasy camp last year.
What a blast.
He's amazing.
It was so fun to finally have Troy Hirsch.
You guys have always
Local
wanted
sports
to
director
hang
out
out
at
with a
fantasy
cool
camp.
television sports anchor, haven't you?
For 6 years, I've been dying to hang out with a guy that talks sports but is also super cool, like Troy Hirsch.
We've been telling Troy for 6 years, hey, man, you're a sports director. Get out to
over there.
fantasy
All I
camp.
can say
Come
is
on,
I would
hang out
never
with us.
steal Sam Levitt away from this show.
Troy, we got an Airbnb. You can stay with us.
I love Troy Hirsch. Love it.
Samuel join us at 9 o'clock instead of 8:30.
Yeah, tell him about the text you just got, though, Paulie, because I've got one very similar from the weekend.
Sammy was like, I'm so sorry. I totally forgot. Can I join you in the 9 o'clock? I said, yeah. 9:35 work? I said, yes, my fault. I'm a Mormon. And I said, Mormon? And he says, all caps, moron.
I'm a Mormon.
I'm like, Sammy, that's great.
Good for you.
I don't know that I needed to know that.
You
It has
converted,
nothing to do-
apparently, over the weekend
Good.
to Mormonism.
For you.
LDS, congratulations, Sammy. Moving to Utah
I'm
soon.
a Mormon.
So I was watching the broadcast, final home game for Mud and Dawn. And I was very moved by all of the emotions, and they're thanking the Friar Faithful, the For the Faithful. And I texted both of them at the end of the game, waited till the game was over, and I said, thank you, gentlemen, for countless hours of laughs and comfort this season. Proud to know you both. You're the best in the game. Mud writes back, thanks, Woodsy. Appreciate the kind words, rock and roll. Don Orsillo writes back, thanks, Bother.
Thanks, Bother.
And then he said, brother. And I said, Bother also works. It's fine.
It does.
It does work. Thanks, Bother. It laid me out, dude. And he wrote back, ha, ha. I said, Bother works. It's fine. I don't like to bug those guys much during the games, but there's just, I mean, you think about how much time you spend with those guys, watching home games and watching every game, but watching games, you just think about how much time you spend with them and how many times you laugh your ass off hysterically throughout the season and love the big moments, and there's just nobody better than those two.
All right, quickly, speaking of programming notes, you can tune in every Thursday at 10 a.m. for 97 Through the Fans commercial-free Padres Roundtable featuring Ben and Woods, Annie and Elston, Gwen and Chris, occasionally even Sam Levitt, presented by San Diego Roundtable Pizza. For takeout or delivery, go to roundtablepizza.com. Roundtable Pizza Royalty. All right, we had our not first, because the White Sox have fired their manager. The Mariners fired their manager earlier in the season. But first kind of end-of-season move yesterday.
White Sox, Mariners, and then yesterday.
Yesterday, the Cincinnati Reds, after 6 seasons, fired David Bell as manager with a week to go. I didn't even see who's going to be their interim skipper for the next few days, but he's out. Cincinnati, who was kind of threatening early in the season as a team that might, push toward a wild card spot, fell off pretty badly in the second half of the year. They're 76-81. That's not horrible. I don't think anyone thinks David Bell did a terrible job, but they have just never quite been able to get over the hump, and they've decided to go in a different direction. And speaking of different directions, it's not official yet, but with the final home game of the season for the Miami Marlins yesterday, Skip Schumacher talked to reporters and pretty much acknowledged what's been inevitable for most of the season, that this was going to be Skip's second and final year with the Miami Marlins. He's going to be leaving that position at the end of the year. Manager of the year, led his team to the playoffs in 2023 this year with really no players and no hope at the beginning of the season. It's not gone well, and the Marlins have the worst record in the National League at 57-99. And he will likely be out on the free agent market at the end. But he said, hey, wouldn't trade this experience for the world. Lots of great relationships that I've built that I'm never going to forget. It's really good last 2 years of my life. You can be kind of angry about, firing the GM after going to the playoffs, not, fortifying the roster, but instead trading pretty much every player of significance away. But he didn't. He went, with that Skip attitude all season long, knowing they really didn't have the horses to compete. But there he was. And even this weekend, beat the Braves once, helping out the Padres and lowering that magic number on Friday. Nearly did it again yesterday. They couldn't come through in the end when they had some runners on and ended up losing by 1, but still fighting to the end of the season, and that's a Skip Schumacher hallmark right there.
Which is the worst possible case scenario for us because, listen, I saw Bob Nightingale tweet yesterday about, Skip Schumacher, a front runner for the Cincinnati job.
Already.
And
He'll be a front runner for just about any job, even jobs that aren't open yet.
That's exactly right. And
remember last year, the Cubs were more than happy with their manager until they weren't when all of a sudden Craig Counsell was available, and they said, you know what, we're going to make the change.
And we're going to give you $40 million or something over however many years.
Skip's going to do well this offseason if he wants to.
Skip's going to do really well this offseason. But I think, I'm not going to speak for him because who knows? I mean, anything could change. But I just don't know that Cincinnati is a super desirable location based on what he just went through in Miami, and B, I mean, he wants to be closer to here. The West Coast is his home, and he's got kids and everything else. So that had to be tough, man. That's a long, long way away. So our worst case scenario, we know it. If the Dodgers, when the Dodgers falter in October, if they make a change and Skip's the manager, that'll be it for your.
Well, I think Paul makes a really insightful point there, and that is normally you look at the open jobs and go, hey, who's a fit for which opening? I think with Skip, you don't have to just look at the open jobs.
Correct.
Look at any team.
Any team.
And there could be any team that thinks Skip is an upgrade over the manager that they have right now. They might be interested in making that move, doing the old, all right, well, let's see if he's interested, and if he might sign, and then when he does, all of a sudden you'll hear someone get fired like 2 or 3 weeks after the season going, uh-oh, here comes a move that was not expected in Major League Baseball.
Now, the other team, the only one I might see him make an exception for would probably be his beloved St. Louis Cardinals, but they signed Ollie Marmol to an extension. Did you guys see the stat over the weekend that I posted that I guess it hadn't registered with me? Nolan Arenado had won more playoff games, with the Colorado Rockies than he has since he's been a member of the St. Louis Cardinals, which is shocking. I mean, it's when they lay it out like that, that's shocking. And so I think that is a job, Ben. Once you're in that organization, you're always in that organization, as we've heard plenty about. That would be one. If they got rid of Marmol, I mean, I think if you're him, that's one you have to take. I'm pushing him to go anywhere else.
I mean, Mariners are a playoff contender. It's West Coast, but it's not exactly
West Coast. Yeah.
But they obviously will be looking for someone. And I know the Angels just hired Ron Washington. It wasn't a great first season. I don't know how much they're on the hook for with Ron Washington, but there's another one that I wouldn't be completely shocked if, at least behind the scenes, that they were doing some discussion as Skip does make his home in Orange County in the offseason. So
Seattle and Anaheim, fine by me. Keep him away from the National League.
I mean, do you want...
There's one thing that would definitely keep Skip from becoming the next manager of the Dodgers, and you don't want that to happen either.
Then winning the World Series. yeah, that's it. So it's really
what you want for the team is not conducive for not wanting Skip to be the manager there.
Here's the best scenario for you. Padres, Dodgers meet in the NLCS, which the Padres win in a hard-fought 7-game series that really the Dodgers feel like, we had all these injuries.
Right there.
We can't get rid of Dave Roberts after that. So that's probably what you're kind of hoping for.
Somebody asked the question in the chat, will he still wear a Ben and Wood shirt in L.A.? And I said, no, he will not. He'd be stupid. I would tell him, you don't have. Please don't, actually. Please don't. I'm not trying to get you hurt. Because they would hurt him.
I don't even want to talk about it.
I don't either. Let's just stop talking about it.
I don't want to put that in the universe.
Did you find what you were supposed to be looking for?
Yeah, it didn't happen.
Okay, good. Megan thought she heard someone break wind on this program.
I can play it for you.
Yeah, play it.
She was my wife was listening back to our opening segment, and you guys were talking about
what in the world?
Dumplings. Ben went and got dumplings. And she goes, I swear to God, I heard a fart in the background. That was like a sound effect. She goes, no, like one of you idiots farted. And so I tried to find it.
The chow long bao with the pork, which is the soup dumplings.
Okay, in soup?
No, the soup is inside the dumplings. You eat the dumpling and then the soup kind of...
Did she think that was me going,
Yeah. Said Woods was pulling like a Homer Simpson.
No, the soup is inside the dumplings. You eat the dumpling and then the soup kind of...
It's a little bit.
It was kind of a... Yeah. Eat the dumpling and then the soup kind of...
That would have been epic. That would have been epic.
The dumplings. You eat the dumpling, and then the soup kind of.
What is that for me anyway?
I don't
That's
know.
what I want to know. No, that was me fully going, oh, like excited about it. Yeah, a little different.
All right, so with Sammy big timing us
Yes,
at
big
another
leaguing.
station, are we
Fox
going to
5,
move the
if you've been-
Reindl Report up?
Got it
here?
on right here.
It was on Fox 5. He's going to be on Fox 5.
Fine.
Yeah.
All right, if you want during the break, you can tune to Fox 5.
Oh, we have it on
Watch
in the
Sammy. I
studio.
know
There we
do.
go.
Perfect.
And then, Paul, you going to do a Reindl Report then our next segment? or-
Sammy's joining us at 9:30, so we can do either one.
Either one. All right.
figure
So
it
coming up next, something.
Content.
This is what Sammy hath wrought
Yes,
on our
dude.
program.
Thanks,
all of our
Sammy.
best laid
Yes.
plans and attentions. I mean, I can at least tell Sammy that his beloved BYU Cougars beat Kansas State on Saturday night. Pulled off the big upset.
I
with
do
the
not
new-
hate. No.
Newly minted Mormon Sam Levitt.
We are
So,
not doing a college football. Coming up next, not college football.
There we go. Good tease.
Thank
With
you.
Bennett Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
All right. Give me your fresh spin on this subject.
It's not a fresh spin.
You said it's a fresh. You said I have a fresh spin.
No, put the pressure on me.
Mm-hmm.
I think clearly we're heading down a road where someone is going to be considered the biggest or one of the biggest snubs all time for National League Rookie of the Year.
One of three guys.
Yeah,
Two of three guys.
Really one of two. I mean, Jackson Churio's been great, but just his slower start, I think, eliminates him from the race. So it's coming down to Skeens and it's coming down to Merrill. And while we have all, stand for Merrill,
I love Paul Skeens,
except for Woods
or
Paul Skeens.
Paul Skeens.
I love Jackson Merrill.
Skeens.
I love Jackson Merrill too.
Paul Skeens is an incredibly deserving Rookie of the Year candidate,
Sure.
and he had another 5 shutout innings yesterday. Lowered his ERA to 1.99, which maybe that's where it ends. I don't know if they're going to start him again the final weekend or not, but I don't think there's ever been a rookie pitcher, they said, with like 20 starts and a sub-2 ERA in baseball.
Pretty good, man.
Unbelievable rookie season for Paul Skeens. It's also been an unbelievable rookie season for Jackson Merrill. The position switch, he is one of the best defenders in all of baseball and out in center field, like top 15 in all of baseball. The clutch factor has been off the charts. The numbers have been incredible, and he's an everyday player. There's a valid argument for both guys. And every piece I saw, and I think this weekend I saw in Sports Illustrated online, it wasn't our friend Ryan Phillips, but they said they picked Skeens over Merrill. I mean, I can't even get mad about it at this point. They said in the argument there really should be a position player and a pitcher Rookie of the Year. There's not going to be one this year, though. They got to pick one. And it comes down to the writers and the vote. And everyone seems to agree. The only fair solution would be co-Rookies of the Year.
Yeah.
But you can't just name it because it's just only if the ballots were split. I think there's, 30 voters? So if it was like 15 and 15, and they both all voted for one, half voted for Skeens, half voted for Merrill. The other half had second place Skeens, second place Merrill. They could split the award.
Yeah.
But they can't orchestrate it as such. I mean,
6 months at my house, 6 months at your house.
Unless every single voter, and I don't even know what the rules are for the baseball writers, said, can we all agree that the fair outcome is that they share it? But how do we do that by rigging the vote? I mean, you don't want to rig a vote. It's not a vote anymore if you rig it. But how can you end up with I'd be okay with it. Would you be okay with co-Rookies of the Year? I would.
Of course. But what do they give you, half a draft pick? I mean, there's draft pick compensation. Or you both get one? I have no idea.
Well, the Pirates don't get one because they didn't have Skeens on their roster to start the year. So they're not getting one. Only the Padres can get the draft pick.
Good point.
For Rookie of the Year. And
So
I'm not exactly sure if you finish second, do you get something too? I don't even know how the new rules work. But
well, listen, I mean, this is
the one thing that makes sense would be co-Rookies of the Year, and I'd have no problem with it. There's just no way to actually fashion that to happen unless the voting turns out to be an absolute tie between the two guys. And what are the odds of that actually happening? Very low. I'm sure the vote will be close, but an actual tie, probably not.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is the Pirates World Series, this Rookie of the Year, and that's not a shot at them. We've been there. We've been there. Padres fans have absolutely been there when that's really all you had to hang your hat on. That's the thing is, man, if you're a team and you have a pitcher like Paul Skeens, a normal fan of that team would say, oh my God, our future is so bright. But you don't know that that's the case with the Pittsburgh Pirates. You just don't. So this is kind of your World Series. So I understand their passion for it. He's a great pitcher, no question about it. For me, an everyday player that has put up the numbers that Jackson has, that also switched positions. I mean, all that has to be taken into account. He's helping his team and get to a pennant race and everything else. He's had some clutch moments. I mean, look, Paul Skeens was amazing yesterday. He threw 76 pitches against the Reds. It's great. I love Paul Skeens. That said, it would be. Again, I'm not going to think it's a travesty either way.
Well, yeah, and I see the argument in the chat, which I agree with. Merrill plays every day versus pitching, once a week. Isn't that more valuable? Kind of, yes, but pitchers do win Rookie of the Year awards. So at what point do you make the distinction? Is it all? I mean, otherwise, the pitcher should never win the Rookie of the Year award Because there's always a rookie who's been playing pretty much every day.
Right.
But what if Merrill only hit 240 with 17 home runs?
Right.
Then do you give it to Skeens? I mean, where's your cutoff line? You have to play well enough if you're playing every day.
Played every day, but also I think
you have to play well enough too.
The clutch.
It's huge.
home
It's
run's
absolutely huge. There's no doubt about it. Jackson Merrill's been incredibly valuable. One of the not just most valuable rookies, but especially in the second half of the season, one of the most valuable players.
Correct.
In all of baseball, which tells me he should be the rookie of the year, because how valuable has Paul Skeens been to the Pirates? They're still in last place the last time I checked.
Good start
so
every fifth day. I mean,
can't really do much to affect the team. At the same time, you're never gonna see probably a better rookie pitching season than Paul Skeens.
Correct.
You're never gonna see it. That's as good as you can do. I mean, he's done everything you could possibly do this season. So you just say, okay, then pitchers can never win it.
Paul Skeens.
Yeah, you love Paul Skeens too. It's fine. Devin Williams won Rookie of the Year. Barely had any innings.
I know.
That's
I mean, was there just no other decent everyday candidates?
Jake Cronenworth. Yeah,
but they gave it to Devin Williams.
Devin Williams. So I just for me, this is very.
Again, that was the short season, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
This is very indicative, and it reminds me so much of last year. Trying as hard as I can to give a rat's ass about Blake Snell Cy Young. I want to play this up, Ben, for the air. Yes, let's go Jackson Merrill. I want it for you so bad. I don't care. I want him to hoist the trophy. And I know that that's what he really wants. At the end of the day, I didn't care about Blake Snell's Cy Young run. I didn't. It was a really nice personal achievement on a really, really terrible season. And so for this, though, it'd be great to win them both, right? You could do both. But I find myself going, I just want to beat the Dodgers tomorrow night. How do we beat them tomorrow night? And I know that's what Jackson Merrill wants, too. So I'd love it for him. I think it would be great, but it's not going to gut me if he doesn't.
This is Jackson Merrill.
Hi, Jackson.
I tend to agree with you. If the Padres disappoint in the playoffs, a Rookie of the Year for Jackson Merrill ain't going to soothe that.
It's no salve.
And if the
your
Padres
bird.
win the World Series, I could care less. They've already gotten everything I've ever wanted.
That's it.
Cherry on top, fine, but not much of a cherry. The World Series is so much more important. I'd be at that point, just give it to Paul Skeens.
Yeah, give it to Paul Skeens.
We've got everything we wanted. I don't care anymore. They got the World Series.
Jackson Merrill's hitting the gritty, down Tony Gwynn Avenue. That's fine with me.
He gets a World Series ring. Paul, go ahead. Take the Rookie of the Year.
Enjoy it.
So there's really no win in this situation. You're right about that.
Yeah, for sure.
But the only fair thing would be co-Rookie of the Years.
Sure.
You just can't make it so. You can't wave your wand and go, boom, done, even though that would be a great outcome at the end.
Yeah, Rookie of the Year, World Series MVP, and World Series champion Jackson Merrill. I'll take that. I'll take that either. I'll take two of those three, and that would be World Series MVP, World Series champion. He remains a delight to watch play the game of baseball every single day. A good role model for kids, a good role model for adults as well. Jackson Merrill is the real deal. So it would. I don't know how much he cares. He says that he doesn't care, but he certainly earned it. Anytime you play every day, you earn it, man.
Speaking of Blake Snell, he actually played a pretty big role in the wild card race yesterday, just not the National League wild card race. We'll get to that after a check of traffic. First, though, this segment of Ben and Woods is brought to you by Indeed. Need to hire? You need Indeed. Their end-to-end solution helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all year round. Schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from your Indeed dashboard. Learn more by visiting Indeed.com/credit. AL Wildcard Talk coming up after traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Ale Smith 394 Pale Ale. Hey guys, just a couple problems here. Stalled vehicle on southbound 15 before Scripps Poway Parkway. It's kind of between the two right lanes. And Cordell traffic cam shows a stalled car on northbound 15 Friars Road. It's in the center divide. Ale Smith 394 Pale Ale, the official rally pint of the playoff push. Catch all the San Diego baseball action this week at the Ale Smith Tasting Room in Miramar. Enjoy specials on $3.94 and more while you cheer on your team with fellow fans. Don't miss the excitement. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
So what's there not one but two fan bases right now that are in the torture chamber in the American League. Those are the Minnesota Twins and the Kansas City Royals, who are seeing their once 90+% playoff odds slip away here.
How high did they get?
I think they both got over 90% at one point. And now one of them likely will miss the postseason. The Twins got swept in another doubleheader yesterday by the Red Sox. They have lost 22 of their last 33 games and have fallen a game behind and out of the playoff races. They were passed by the Detroit Tigers yesterday, who beat the Baltimore Orioles 4-3. In fact, the Tigers not only caught and passed the Twins, they also caught the Kansas City Royals, who lost their 7th in a row yesterday as they faced Blake Snell. It was actually Blake Snell against Seth Lugo in a battle of 2023 Padres. Couple of aces going at it, and the Giants got a 2-0 win over the Royals, who have dropped 7 in a row, and now they are potentially facing a missing the playoff scenario after really looking like they were comfortably in for most of the summer in the American League. But with the Orioles still holding on to that first wild card, now it comes down to the Royals and Tigers are tied. One game ahead of the Twins, and just 2 games ahead of the Mariners, who've lost yesterday in walk-off fashion to the Rangers. They could have pulled within a game as well. They've played a little bit better lately under Dan Wilson, their interim manager, but they're going to have an almost perfect week in order to catch him. But someone's missing the playoffs here.
Look at the top teams in the AL wildcard. Orioles lost 2. Royals lost 7. Tigers 1-2. Twins lost 2. Mariners lost 1. Razor.
Look at the last 10 games in the American League.
3-7.
I mean, everybody
2-8.
Falling
Tigers
apart.
7-3.
The Tigers are about it.
3-7 for the Twins. Mariners 6-4. Oh my God! There's a saying. I'm not allowed to say the second. Adam doesn't like when I say it, but it's tight. It's a saying in baseball. Oh man, you got that tight. You can infer. B hole, right? So it's tight. Never has it been more evident than what you're seeing in the American League right now. The Orioles.
Just comparing like the last 10 to the American League to
Yes,
the National League.
yes,
The
National
worst
League.
team is the Diamondbacks at 5-5.
Correct.
The reason the Padres
8-2.
can't pick up ground on anyone because everyone in the National League is winning and everybody in the American League is losing.
We've got no help. Like zero help. 90 wins. 100% chance of making the playoffs and have not clinched yet. So just the excruciating, and no game tonight, which just makes it even worse.
So interestingly enough, in that playoff race in the American League, the Miami Marlins will play a role in that as they will visit the Minnesota Twins for 3 this week in interleague play on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. The Detroit Tigers are hosting the Tampa Bay Rays for 3 games. And then the Kansas City Royals are at Washington. So they're playing interleague play as well against the Nationals, and they finish against the Atlanta Braves. So you could have the National League and American League, like the last teams decided in that interleague series between the Royals and the Braves this weekend, depending on what the Braves do against the Mets the next 3 days.
Does that series start tonight? Mets-Braves?
Mets-Braves starts tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Most of these series start tomorrow. The only game of any impact tonight in the playoff race in the National League really is Giants at Diamondbacks.
Let's go Giants.
That's a Hayden Birdsong against Eduardo Rodriguez. It's 6:40 tonight at Chase Field. Yeah, Bob Melvin and the Giants, we are now fans for the next 3 days of the Giants. Fortunately, they don't have to face Blake Snell, who pitched yesterday, so they will miss him in that series. Arizona 3 games behind the Padres and trying to make up a little ground before that last series. They'd love to be within a game of the Padres because that would mean if they'd win the series, they would have the tiebreaker and they would have the win. But they need to be within a game for that to be a possibility. Otherwise, they'd have to sweep. Bob Melvin. I really do.
Yeah.
I do this week.
Yeah, me too.
Like Bob Melvin a lot.
Huge fan.
The Giants are, they're an end of season mode. They were eliminated over the weekend.
It's the parallels of Bob Melvin's Padres team of last year and Bob Melvin's Giants team of this year are staggering. They're out of it. They're done.
Yeah.
And now look who's playing really good baseball. And they're loose and they're fun and they're doing bits on the plane. And
Yeah, they all dressed up as Oompa Loompas
Yeah.
yesterday, except for the 6'11" Sean Jelly, who was Willy Wonka.
Yes.
So all the other players looked really small compared to him.
So
as
now,
Oompa Loompas.
now they're playing well again. Pressure's off. Oh my Lord! So yeah, definitely rooting for Bob Melvin and his Giants this week for sure.
Yeah, and if they can just get one, that would be helpful. Two would be great. But the more the Padres can be ahead of the Diamondbacks going into the last series, even if you don't catch the Dodgers, you'd love to be able to wrap up the home field advantage like Friday, and then you don't have to worry about the last couple of days. You can set your bullpen, set your rotation, get ready for a playoff series starting Tuesday at Petco Park. If that is what happens. Otherwise, you might have to play all the way through Sunday to try to clinch it.
That's the thing, man.
You won't know. Are we staying in Arizona? Are we going home after the series? You don't really want it to come down to the last day if you're the Padres.
I really don't. I don't want it to come down to the last day at all. I'd like the Giants to really handle up on the Diamondbacks, who, as Paulie mentioned, were 5-5 in their last 10. So yeah, just win 6 in a row, win the division. Yeah, that's easy.
I was surprised they took 3 out of 4 from the Brewers. I thought, Milwaukee's red hot going into the series at home.
They laid down
a 3-day hangover from clinching the NL Central. And finally, they broke out of it with a great comeback yesterday. Took a 10-run comeback to actually win one of those games against the Diamondbacks, but at least they got one, and the Padres did increase that lead to 3. Now, the Mets are actually the second wildcard team because they're tied, but the Mets have the tiebreaker on Arizona. So if the season ended today, Padres would play the Mets. At Petco Park next week.
Season does not end today, unfortunately.
No, but we're getting a lot closer to that being true. Next Monday, the season will be over when we show up for the show 1 week from today. We will know who the Padres are playing, where they are playing,
and when,
and everything, what network it's on, other than 97.3 The Fan. We'll know everything by the time we hit these chairs 1 week from today.
Oh, my God.
You guys ready?
I think I am, but I'm not.
Did I miss Sammy? Was he
I think
up there?
you did. He was
Must
on
have
Fox
missed
5.
him. Yeah.
Hey, there's
Hey,
Troy
there's Troy
Hirsch.
Hirsch.
Yay!
Okay, we can change the channel now.
What a handsome
Go ahead
SOB.
and change the
That is
channel.
fun, man.
See that suit?
Look at
What
the
a
shirt.
nice suit.
Paulie, what are we ready for? Reindl Report
Yes.
coming up next.
Squatters.
Squatters next on 97.3 The Fan. Final hour of Ben and Woods on a Monday. No game today. We can all just take one last big breath before the plunge, as it were.
I don't want to, man. I don't want to. It's like I don't. With the day game yesterday, and then the night hits, and then you realize, all right, we can go in and talk about all three games. What the hell are we going to do tonight? And don't even say Monday Night Football. Don't even say it. I guess I'll watch the Giants Diamondbacks, I guess.
2 Monday night games tonight.
I don't care.
You got 2 choices.
I don't care.
Double the fun.
I just want to watch our guys play. They're playing so well.
So the pitching matchups are set for the 3-game series against the Dodgers, and I'll go through all the potential scenarios tomorrow on who can clinch, when they can clinch. Obviously, the Padres just need one more win to clinch a playoff spot. I like all the matchups though for the series. Woods, Michael King tomorrow against Landon Knack. All these are 7:10 starts, by the way. Thank you, Dodgers,
Appreciate
for making
it.
us all stay up as late as possible.
People still show up in the 3rd inning there. What's the difference in 6:40 and 7:10? They show up in the 6th?
Make it 6 o'clock.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Wednesday
7:10.
is what you'd call the ace-on-ace matchup, Dylan Cease against Jack Flaherty. And then Thursday's series finale will be Joe Musgrove and Walker Buehler. So I like the Padres' chances in all those games.
Paulie? I don't even have to tell Paulie anymore.
But just as we said, hey, you can't expect a 3-game sweep of the Chicago White Sox at home.
No.
You certainly can't expect a 3-game sweep of the LA Dodgers on the road.
No. Up at Petco North.
I guess my their Padres are going to need to win at least one of those games with offense. Dodgers score a lot of runs.
They do.
Diamondbacks do as well. This week, facing 2 teams that put runs on the board.
100%. Can you prevent the runs from getting on the board?
You can prevent
defensively and
some
pitching?
of them in some of the games, but I guarantee
Our
you,
offense needs to hit.
at some point, the Dodgers or the Diamondbacks, they're going to score like 5 to 7 in a game because that's what they do, if not more, which means if you want to win that game, you're going to have to put up an 8 to 10. And feels like it's been a hot minute since the Padres have put up, an 8 to 10 run game with their offense.
What did they score this weekend? They scored 13 runs in 3 games.
4-6-3, 4-3-3, 4 had an 8-0 win against the Giants about a week and a half ago. 5-2, 7-6, 3-5. I mean, they haven't been scoring in bucketfuls lately. The old 4-run inning thing that they did a lot earlier in the season.
Ooh, I forgot about the 4-run inning.
Haven't had a lot of 4-run innings lately. Haven't even had a lot of 4-run games lately. 4 has been the magic number, though, for the Padres this season when they have scored, and I saw this in the Kevin Acey newsletter this morning. Good stat here for you. When they have scored 4 runs or more this year, the Padres are 74-13. That is the best record in Major League Baseball when scoring at least 4 runs. So that's been the magic number this year. They can get to at least 4 in all 3 of these games, you got a shot. I don't think it'll be enough in one of them, though. You score 4 or 5, Dodgers will get you at least one of those games.
Is there if the Padres take 2 out of 3,
they are not eliminated. They could still win the division.
Okay.
I'll go through those scenarios tomorrow, but yeah. The only thing that eliminates the Padres is if the Dodgers win the series or sweep the series, and they will clinch. They could clinch with 2 wins over the Padres and clinch the West. As long as the Padres win the series or sweep, they will still be alive going into the weekend. Much better scenario, though, by sweeping than just taking 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3, you need a lot of help from the Rockies.
Watching them win the West in the next 3 days is not going to be something I'm going to enjoy at all.
Watching, I'm sure the Dodgers aren't looking forward to the Padres celebrating. All they need is 1 win, and they'll pop champagne.
Yep.
Dodgers' best case scenario is probably, hey, we keep beating the Padres. They celebrate anyway, but it'll be after a loss when someone else loses.
Yes.
Somewhere else. That's probably the best case scenario for the Dodgers.
I love it.
But we'll go through those tomorrow because we'll have a whole show to do that.
Yep.
We have a good show tomorrow, but we'll save that for another time because right now, Paulie's got a Reindl Report.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Okay, how are you?
on 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a yeah? Oh, yeah.
All right.
All right. Good morning, my friends. I'd like to start. It'd be remiss if I did not start the Reindl Report by shouting out another Reindl. It is Redhead Appreciation Day.
Oh.
So I am appreciating right now my redheaded wife.
Are you going to appreciate her later?
That's not up to me. I would love to. I'm willing.
Anytime. Just anytime
Say
you're
the
ready.
word.
Let me appreciate you.
I'll appreciate
ma'am.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I like redheads.
It's so different.
It is.
Like redheaded
You ever
people.
date a redhead?
No.
No. I did.
You did?
Yeah, high school. Auburn, like a deep Auburn.
Natural?
Yeah. You creep. Did you see the... All right.
What?
Paulie,
Oh, my God.
pull that clip. I want the whole world to see his face of what a deviant. I just looked into the eyes of a deviant.
No, but sometimes with the dark
No,
red,
I know
there's like
exactly.
the red highlights go in the dark hair, and it's not natural.
I know exactly. I know exactly what he was doing. Freak. We have really unlocked a demon in him.
Just curiosity. Paulie writes on our rundown, be curious, right there. I am just being curious. Be curious.
Trying to find it.
Good little radio trick.
You got to
they
find
said
it.
for
You got to
us.
get
Be
his
curious.
face, the look.
I'll find
this is the look.
Yeah, got it.
All right. Well, happy Redhead Day,
Yes.
Megan.
All right. Sorry for creepy Ben.
Natural.
I didn't ask about Megan. I asked about anonymous, unknown Auburn redhead that Woods was talking about.
What a transition. So, I was looking for some stories this morning for the Reindl Report. I was kind of remembering this time of year, September into October, we kind of avoid football on Mondays because there's so much baseball to get to.
Yeah.
Tuesdays are usually, we'll dive in a little bit more on college football.
Last year we
NFL.
hit it a lot on Mondays.
Yeah, we didn't have a whole lot else to talk about. But I do have some stories. We haven't talked much football other than Ben's fantasy football, which was really riveting. So...
You helped me out, though.
I like the idea of Ben's fantasy dilemma every Monday. Right in the middle of a pennant race, too. We should do that. Just make people insane.
Yesterday in the NFL, we talked about it last week. Tua Tagovailoa was put on injured reserve. He's going to miss 4 weeks. So the Dolphins were left with Skylar Thompson, their backup quarterback. Told you to bet on Seattle. If
You
you
did,
wanted,
dude.
and,
You did.
This one was.
I said bet on the Chargers, and they got smoked.
This is a laugher.
I said bet on the Bucs, and they got smoked by the Broncos.
Miami lost 24-3, but that wasn't the biggest L of the day for them because Skylar Thompson left in the third quarter with some pretty gnarly rib injuries. He was just getting hit left and right by the defense, just no protection. And so now they are down to their third string quarterback. Tim Boyle played the rest of the game for Skylar Thompson yesterday for those Dolphins, and it is just kind of a mess right now if you're a Dolphins fan.
Well, if either of you could tell me, and I couldn't do it, where either Skylar Thompson or Tim Boyle played their college football, I'd be shocked.
Skylar Thompson. Give me a hint.
Big 12.
Iowa State.
Oh, not a bad guess. No, Kansas State for
Okay.
Skylar Thompson. And then, let's see, Tim Boyle started at UConn in 2013 and finished at Eastern Kentucky. I don't think there's any hope of guessing that one.
I mean, not only that, Paulie, they got smoked, but there was their tight end, pun intended, I guess, got his pants pulled down in the middle of the game.
It was the tight end?
It was the tight end. Tanner Connor.
Oh, the irony.
Tanner Connor is running with the ball, and the safety for it was Rayshon Jenkins goes to tackle him, And, you slide down the guy's body, but he had a hold of the pants, and he pulls the whole
Is
thing
that a
down.
hip drop tackle?
No,
Is that a penalty?
it's a
Or
pants
is that a
drop
pants
tackle.
drop tackle?
He yanks the guy's pants down, and there is his crack right in my face. It went super viral. It's just awful. Awful. It's got to be so embarrassing. You get pantsed on national TV.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming...
That was a big thing when we were in
pantsing,
like junior high school. Pantsing.
Try that in 2024.
Yeah,
Let me know
try
how
it
that
now.
goes
See what
for you.
happens. But yeah, not only that. So if somebody got that picture from the back, when your pants get pulled down, the front comes down too sometimes. So there's a decent chance that this guy's shown a lot more of himself
Don't
than
they
he
wear
wanted
belts?
to.
And,
Yeah, they're
they're
tight.
like pretty. Yeah,
It's not
football
loose.
pants.
Yes,
are not,
they're tight.
We're not talking about sweatpants
No.
or basketball shorts here.
That's incredible, man.
In college football, it was a pretty chalky weekend.
Yep.
There was some movement in the top 5 as Tennessee 4-0. They moved up to the 5th spot with Ole Miss dropping 1 spot. And I did see one note here. Now, it's not that surprising when you go and actually look at the matchup, but the headline is a little bit shocking when you see that Alabama is a home underdog this weekend coming up on Saturday for the first time since 2007.
That's a long time.
That's 17 years, right?
Yeah, that's
17 years.
dominance.
I mean, there's always really good teams in the SEC. Sure. Even if you're the number 1 team, still since 2007 they are the home underdog, and they're opening as 2-point underdogs as they face Georgia, which
makes sense.
I get it. It makes sense. No Saban, but still at home.
Now, I remember when the Irish lost to Northern Illinois. Ben came in the next morning, couldn't wait to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's 9-12. No mention of your beloved, another LA team that you love, the SC Trojans, losing at the Big House.
Yeah, they could have won that one.
Could have. I needed them to win.
4th and goal from the 1, 34 seconds left. Michigan scoring the touchdown to win it 27-24.
I was actually rooting for the
Big
Trojans.
Ten opener for USC, first ever game in the Big Ten.
Big game Lincoln, 0-1
I
in
mean,
the Big Ten.
Michigan couldn't throw the ball. It was like 1941 football. I think they had, 30 passing yards or something ridiculous.
Of course, the one time I root for the Trojans, you guys let me down. Yep.
It was a good game.
It was.
I mean, and I don't think it completely torpedoes USC's chances.
No.
A close loss at Michigan is
tough place to win.
Only loss. They certainly could still get in the playoff at the end of the year. I did see that Northern Illinois lost to Buffalo as the 23rd ranked team in the country. That doesn't help Notre Dame's much. They did win against Miami of Ohio.
They did
28-3.
They did not cover.
And Georgia, I mean, they had that close game last week, so
they won
still
by
the fact
one
that they're
against Kentucky.
Kentucky, yeah. And now they're favored by 2 at Alabama, though. I don't know. No
College
Nick
football.
Saban. It's still a little different now.
Getting interesting.
And then finally, this is actually kind of a sports story, but pretty wild.
Yeah, there's connections.
Situation happening in the Hollywood Hills as there is a 10,000 square foot plus mansion
on Mulholland.
On Mulholland, worth like $6.5 million. That has been subjected to squatters,
then overrun,
and graffiti artists. And I saw like a helicopter shot. I'm putting it up here on our stream if you're watching.
Whoa.
But the entire mansion is covered in graffiti.
It looks like a ride at Disneyland.
Yeah,
like a fake, come to the haunted house.
I mean, you have some of the most luxurious homes in the world, all in this one small area, and then there's just this home that is completely covered in graffiti. And the home is actually owned by the son of the Phillies owner, John Middleton.
Yes.
Or I think it might be under his name.
No, it's under the Suns, I think.
That's what I thought.
He owns it.
And so like all the news stations have gone up there and they're doing stories and they're talking to like the artists, the taggers, and they're just saying, yeah, it's a great house to tag.
Yeah, we love coming here to tag it.
A lot of
space.
potential.
Yeah, a lot of blank canvas.
No
here.
security. Like they didn't have to hop any fences. You could just walk right up to it. And now you have people that are just living there. You have squatters.
And I'll tell you this. There's a lot of things that I don't fully grasp, as we've mentioned many times. Squatters' rights is something I do not understand. I do not understand. I don't know you can't give me one good, logical reason that people should just be allowed to squat somewhere.
Yeah.
What is your logic behind it?
The Middleton family owns this home. They clearly don't live there
if you're
full time.
Pro-squatter, why are you pro-squatter? Are you going to attempt to do this?
I'm going to maybe Ben-splain just a little bit. I don't think anyone is pro-squatter. I think they're anti, like, actual landlords who have been receiving rent, and then all of a sudden, like, they want to kick people out, and they say, oh, you're out, and then they call them squatters because, well, they don't want them there anymore.
Well, these are actual
squatters, but I think
they
never paid rent there.
They were not tenants.
I mean, there should be a better way to determine it, but you also have bad landlords as well.
You absolutely
So you have
do.
to kind of protect renters at the same time.
You absolutely do. In my mind, that's a different thing entirely.
Yeah, it should be a totally different thing.
Okay, let me clarify.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I
hey,
think,
here's an abandoned house. I'm moving in. And you can't kick me out because I've been here a certain amount of time. Right.
I don't know what the actual law says. Call it 30 days. Like, if you stay there for a certain amount of time, now you have rights to live there. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but there is an argument out there that there shouldn't be, with as many homeless, unhoused people that we have, especially in Southern California, there shouldn't be a ton of empty houses that are just people buy as an investment and go, I don't want to go to the trouble of renting it out to anyone or Airbnb-ing it, so I'm just going to leave it there with no one living there and then sell it in 3 years for twice as much money. It's like, but we need places for people to live in Southern California. So it's a complicated issue. I tend to agree, of course. But if it's your house and someone just moves in there and you want them out, you should be able to get them out of your house, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, the way you purchased the home, you bought the home, I'm assuming you pay a mortgage on that home.
Right.
There's also another layer to this particular story that they did a public record search. They found that John Middleton owns this home. And this is here, the search shows that Middleton hasn't paid taxes in years.
Oh. So
there's a lien on the property. So maybe he just shouldn't own that home.
Yeah, he shouldn't sell the house. Sell the house.
I still don't know that means that anybody can just decide to move in.
It's wild.
Speaking of graffiti, there's a new mural that is officially debuting today, although I saw some shots over the weekend.
I saw it.
Dylan Cease, Ground Floor Murals, painted one of Dylan Cease on the side of California Holistics in the South Bay, which they're going to do an official kind of unveiling this morning. But it just joins the ever-growing murals of Padres around town.
Dylan Cease, very mural-worthy, in my opinion.
I would think so.
Yeah.
No-hitter.
He's got a handsome face.
Probably going to be your Game 1 playoff starter.
He's a good subject for a mural.
I think it says "Cease se puede," which is kind of like "Si se puede, yes we can,"
si se
but
puede.
"Cease se puede."
I like that. I like that a lot.
Cease we can.
Si se puede.
That's our Reindl Report. Thank you, Paulie.
You're welcome.
Still have Sammy Levitt coming up. We also have tickets to give away, VIP passes to the La Mesa Oktoberfest. The king of Oktoberfest.
Fun one, man. I used to live right across the street from where that takes place.
It goes
La
Germany.
Mesa.
Germany.
Then La Mesa.
Munich.
La Mesa.
Just as far as you guys
If you can't make it to Germany, just head on down to La Mesa.
And, I get if you can't.
All right, let's do trip to Oktoberfest in Germany.
In Germany?
Yes. We got the playoffs coming up. Probably a bad idea.
I guess that's coming up.
That's like next week.
I was like, when is that?
I thought you meant next year.
Hey, when is that? Oh, it's next year.
Probably a bad idea. All right, we'll come back, do all of that after traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
Hamul Casino. Fun above all else.
Sparked a war in our YouTube chat between
You did?
Yeah, between the fans of the La Mesa Oktoberfest and the El Cajon Oktoberfest.
Oh, boy.
People arguing.
Well,
Sorry.
let's be honest. You're not going to either of them, all right?
Probably not, but I would consider it. I like a good Oktoberfest.
I bet you do. What's your favorite part of it? The
I would
giant
say the
steins
sausages.
of beer. Oh my God! No one loves sausages more. No one on the planet. No one on the planet loves sausages more. He loves it.
I like the soft pretzels.
Oh, I'm with you there.
Bavarian pretzel.
Yeah,
Bavarian
those are really good
pretzels.
too.
What do you dip
Beer
yours in?
cheese.
I like the beer
Cheese?
cheese. Beer
Yeah.
cheese, yeah. Well, I mean, mustard is also good.
Mustard's
but
delicious.
Beer cheese is better.
Back and forth all day.
Yeah.
Either or.
Either or.
I don't really
With
like
a good,
sausages.
like a German Marzen, like
No,
an Oktoberfest style beer.
What is Marzen? That's kind of beer?
Marzen's kind of like a red ale, like a German red ale.
I've had friends that have gone over there, and they're like, you don't understand. I mean, you drink, that beer is not, it's not easy to drink. I mean,
It can be kind of heavy.
it's
Yeah.
heavy a
Yeah.
little bit. I could get maybe one down. One, I'd be like, I'm done. I'm ready to go. Let's go back to the hotel.
Like those steins that are shaped like boots.
The big, giant steins.
They'll do like the Stein holding competition.
And they suck down
Just gotta
10,
Woods
12
can't
of
even
them.
hold his iPhone to get like sound
No.
for more than like
I have to move.
10 seconds. The Stein competition would destroy
Destroy
you.
me. Destroy me. Man. Yeah, I think I would like Oktoberfest more if I was more into sausages like you. But I'll get a pretzel.
It's a well-spiced bratwurst with some good
straight heartburn
spicy
for me.
mustard.
All right.
It's tasty, tasty, tasty.
Sons of Arkham says El Cajon one is more authentic. How?
Maybe
One's in El Cajon,
El
one's in La
Cajon
Mesa.
is slightly closer to Germany.
Slightly.
It's a little more east.
That's
than La
true.
Mesa.
That's true.
Well, whatever. We've got tickets to La Mesa Oktoberfest to give away.
And if that's not a ringing endorsement,
Guess what?
I don't know
They're
what it is.
VIP tickets, so that might make a little bit of difference. Call now to win a pair of Hofbrauhaus VIP tickets to La Mesa Oktoberfest on October 6th. The free La Mesa Oktoberfest returns October 4 through 6 with kids and dog activities, beer gardens, and VIP tickets available.
What's VIB? Very important bratwursts.
VIP tickets available for purchase. Visit LaMesaOktoberfest.org for details. Be the fifth caller right now. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. Your chance to win.
You did, man. You really started a war in there. This is like...
Can't we all just get along?
I know. Everyone go to each one that you like, or maybe both. Take them both.
I mean, I've got a Oktoberfest right by my house in Encinitas this Sunday.
I feel like
the
my wife...
Encinitas Oktoberfest.
I'm going to get out. We usually do... There's one in the neighborhood, but my wife is leaving on Thursday for 5 days. Just me and the kids. And
Do we take him to Oktoberfest?
No, because they don't know what it is. So it sounds like something I would have been dragged to, and now that I don't have to go. So I'm really, really good. Whew. This is gonna be a gnarly week for your boy.
You have to. So you're single parenting.
Yeah.
From Thursday
to
to Tuesday.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Show Friday morning. Are they both coming in? What are we doing here?
No, they're going to school.
Oh, it's right. School day.
So
Who's
we
taking
have
them to
so
school. Though? You
that's-
can't take them to school
this
5 a.m.
Just
Are you
drop
coming?
them off
Are
at
you coming
4:30?
late? or
No,
something?
no. We've got
You guys just sit here until the teacher arrives.
my mother-in-law is going to be coming over to my house.
Okay.
At 4:30 in the morning to sit and wait for them to get up, feed them, take them to school, and then her responsibilities are done.
Same on Monday.
Same on Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah. She won't be back until
Correct.
later in the day on Tuesday.
So yeah, and then I'll pick them up from school, and it's just me and the boys. I already told them, get ready to work. Get ready to work. I told Hannah, I said, don't be surprised if you come back and both of their heads are shaved. We're going to really institute some real rules this week.
Because we had
during
thought,
dad camp.
we had thought maybe as a show.
I
you
know.
To go to Arizona for the series this weekend.
Can't do it.
Now, I think it's probably a good decision as that series may not be
anything.
meaningful. We don't know. I mean, maybe the first game is
We were
meaningful, but the next
prepared-
two, we don't even know.
We were prepared to buy a refundable hotel or
Yeah.
Airbnb or whatever, just in case, because for a while, it was certainly looking like it could very well, and it still could, come down to that weekend.
You know, I could bring them in on Friday. I know how much you enjoy them in.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Let Taylor sit on Ben's lap.
Yeah, just give,
Taylor and I have mended our fences.
just give the mother-in-law the day off.
We are moving on. We got a truce, tenuous, but
I love that you're including
In
a
place truce.
3-year-old, and you guys have buried the hatchet.
It's the only person he has beef with. By the way, my 3-year-old son, Taylor. I could bring them in Friday. I might. I'll leave that hanging
And then are you
out.
going to leave and take them to school halfway through the show,
No.
or you just wait?
No,
and
just wait.
To give
We'll
them the day off.
Give them the day off. What are they going to miss?
It's hooky.
What are they going to miss?
Goes on their permanent record.
They've already
now.
missed school day, so it's fine.
What already?
Yeah, they're not going
They
to.
just started.
I don't,
a couple
think,
weeks ago.
I don't think a Woods child is too
No.
obsessed with their permanent record.
No.
Hmm.
We don't care. So yeah, maybe you get a little Taylor and Bo appearance Friday.
Love to have them in.
Yeah, I know you would, Paulie.
Yes, I would love to have them in studio on Friday.
Yep. We got Sammy up next.
We do.
All right,
Yeah.
Sammy's coming up.
Sammy, more baseball coverage with Sam Levitt is presented by T-Mobile. Switch to T-Mobile. You can get tons of benefits, still save on every plan versus AT&T and Verizon. Use their savings calculator to find out how at T-Mobile.com/switch. In-season Sammy until next week when hopefully postseason Sammy makes his appearance.
Champagne Sammy is what we
That's
really
right.
want, buddy.
We'll revisit that story with Sam Levitt when we come back on 97.3 The Fan. No game tonight. We are going to be hosting our monthly Tier 1 Gold member stream. If you are a Gold member, you know what we're talking about. If not, you can sign up in our YouTube stream and upgrade to Gold membership and join us tonight.
It gets wild on there, just so you know.
Uncensored.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm always censored, but
No,
Woods
not
is
all-
uncensored.
not
Well, that's true. A
always.
couple times I've been
I
uncensored.
think our last one.
Our last one.
I did. I gave you a little uncensored, Ben. I actually have to force it because it's not like I'm holding myself in check when we're on the air. Woods is holding himself in check.
Every day of my life. Every day of my life.
Sammy?
Nice. Pro.
Have you ever heard Sammy use any colorful language
I have.
before?
Yeah.
You have?
Oh, yeah.
Felt like he was more like me.
No, I've heard him use
Proper?
it. We went to lunch together at spring training, all of us. Yeah,
That's right. We
he
did.
let it fly a little bit.
A little bit?
Yeah, most normal people do.
That's a good spot. In
It
that
was a
little-
great
that
spot.
mall.
What was that deli called?
That was good.
I'd like to go back there.
Yeah, we should go back there.
We went 2 days in a
next
row.
time.
That's
I
how
know.
much we liked it. I like that.
Now we can go at maybe fantasy camp as well at some point.
100%. Delicious.
All right. Well, that's neither here nor there because we got Sammy standing by. He will be joining us right after our last check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by SDG&E. Just one problem wrapping up our morning drive. Northbound side of the 805 at 43rd. Accident involving a couple vehicles blocking the HOV lane. Tow trucks on scene assisting with that. In peak wildfire season, as a last resort, SDG&E may need to shut off power in specific areas for public safety. Learn more about public safety power shutoffs at sdge.com/PSPS. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, let's see. How did the expression go when he first arrived? It was where Sam goes. Sammy goes.
Sammy goes, yeah.
The champagne flows. And that was based on his experience as a minor league broadcaster that just happened to get to call a number of championships during his day. And then the first year, Padres went all the way to the NLCS. Didn't work out so well last year, but now Sammy is back on track with the Padres on the verge of clinching a playoff spot for the second time in 3 years. And Sam Levitt joins us right now here on 97.3 The Fan. Good morning, Sammy.
Hey, good morning, guys, and I apologize for pushing back my spot. Just unprofessional of me. Kind of big leagued you there, I'll admit. So I apologize about that, and I feel doubly bad this morning because then I hear that you guys are doing this Reddit AMA after the show, and I've been asked a couple of times to do that, and I've never followed up. I haven't done it, so I feel like a bad professional this morning who is not fulfilling my obligations.
It's a long season.
It's been a rough morning.
It's a long season. You work very hard.
He started in like mid-February when he showed up at spring training.
And he's there the whole time.
Essentially, a couple days off for a wedding. I think he was ill a couple of days, and that's about it since mid-February that Sammy's been off.
Yeah, you've done a lot this year, Sammy. Don't beat yourself up. There's nothing you can do about
and
it.
hopefully another 5 weeks or so to go, Sammy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what we all want right now, Sammy. But I thought that was a really look, man. I mean, throw the record out, man. When that team came in here, did not want to be part of history. Thought the White Sox played really hard, and I think you look at a couple of those guys. I didn't look at it at all. We handled business. Would I have liked to blow them out every game? Of course, and have get Yuki Matsui some work and Alec Jacob, whatever. But it didn't work that way. But at the end of the day, the Padres handled their business, and sweeping any team, it doesn't matter who it is quite an accomplishment.
Yeah, I think you summed it up perfectly. They took care of business. And was it always pretty this weekend? Did they explode offensively like I think you would assume they would have? No, they didn't, and they had the hiccup on Friday night, but they found a way to win it. They found a way to win on Saturday. And then yesterday, yeah, it took a while to get the offense going, but once they got to the White Sox reliever in the eighth inning, it was charging on from there. So, look, I think this time of year, the win is the thing. They continue to take care of their own business. They finally got a little bit of help from the Brewers yesterday. Couldn't get enough help from the Rockies, which would have made it just wildly interesting heading into Tuesday. But Woodsy, you summed it up really well. They took care of business. They found a way to win the games. And I don't think you can sit here on this Monday morning and really complain about much with this team at 90 wins and doing what you feel like they should be doing. And quite frankly, this morning and over the weekend, not that it's surprising to anybody, and I'm sure much of San Diego feels the same way, but I'm as bullish on this team as I feel like I've been all year. That's how well they've played, and that's how much they deserve that respect right now.
So, Sam, on Friday night, when Robert Suarez gave up the 2-run home run and blew his third save in 6 chances, you actually heard Mike Schilt. Well, he didn't say anything bad about Suarez. He finally acknowledged we do have some other options we might need to look at. But then the next day, Tanner Scott gets the save. But remember, Robert Suarez was warming up in case he needed to go in there. And then yesterday, of course, Suarez comes in a 2-run game and gets the job done using that changeup to strike out Sheets and get the save. So what were your thoughts on finally hearing Mike Schilt talk about his closer situation with a bit more of an open mind, and what do you think we're going to see going forward here in the 9th inning?
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting on Friday night because, in the past, when there's been any question about Suarez, it's been very, very clear that Mike's, been totally, totally behind him. And that's not to say that Mike wasn't behind him with the answer on Friday, but to your point, it was a much more, leave the door open kind of answer. And, he used the word consideration, and he did not, totally shut the door on the idea that they could consider a different strategy for save opportunities. And then he was asked a little bit further about, just the fastballs from Suarez. We saw it in that bat against Lenny Sosa in the 9th inning on Friday. I mean, guys, you could tell from where I was standing next to the first base dugout that Sosa was on it. And then I went and looked at the at-bat afterwards, and I saw there was nothing slower than 99 miles per hour. So, Mike was pretty blunt there in saying that, yeah, there probably has to be a secondary offering that's mixed in there against right-handed hitters. So as far as what we'll see, look, I think it's a fascinating question because, Saturday was a little bit different in the sense of Suarez had thrown a lot of pitches the night before, but I will say that would be a scenario with Suarez, not pitching back-to-back days despite throwing a lot of pitches on Friday, where I feel like earlier in the year you would have seen Scott finish that 8th inning and then have Suarez come on for the 9th inning most of the time, if not all the time, and that was the spot where they let Scott in. But then yesterday, Suarez, typical save opportunity, didn't pitch the day before, comes in. So, I think you saw a little bit of both sides of it, but maybe the answer right now is that they are just going to be more willing to approach different strategies when it comes to those save chances, kind of like with what we saw on Saturday. Maybe it's not going to be an automatic that, hey, if you're up by 1, 2, or 3 runs, it's going to be Robert Suarez. Maybe it is a situation where they say, hey, you know what? Tanner Scott's already in there. He got, the 2 outs on, a quick couple of pitches in that 8th inning, and he's going to stay in there and finish the game. We're not just going to go to Robert Suarez to go to him. So, look, it's going to be interesting this final week of the regular season to see if it's a little bit more mix and match and if they go about it strategically a little bit differently, and if we can read into what they did on Saturday and Sunday. We'll see in this coming week, but I think it's certainly possible that strategically they may go about it a little bit differently, and maybe that's what we saw at least a little bit this weekend.
Talking to Sammy Levitt here on Ben and Woods, and then be prepared for this week to be managed completely different than next week is managed. I mean, it just when the playoffs hit, everybody goes to zero. Doesn't matter what you did. Oh, you hit 30 home runs. Nobody cares. You have 0 right now. Oh, Jake, you didn't have the best offensive season. Doesn't matter. You're sitting at 0. And the same goes with the relievers. I mean, expect the guy that comes in and get big outs in game 1, expect him in game 2 and expect him in game 3. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a trust thing. It's going to be managed completely different, honestly, from game to game from here on out. So I don't know that any of us should get ourselves worried about who's going to go when and where. And I kind of just submit they've got the info that I don't have, and let the chips fall where they may. I sure like our chances, though. I sure do. I like what I've seen from all these guys. And I'm not overly concerned really about anyone's performance or lack thereof right now.
Yeah, and I think, with the closing situation in particular, maybe it becomes a little bit more about just who's fresher, right? I mean, you had a fresh Tanner Scott on Saturday, gets 5 outs. He got the 5 outs the day before, so maybe that automatically gives Suarez the opportunity on the Sunday. Look, I think that it's a good problem to have, right? It would be one thing if this were the Padres bullpen of the first half and Robert Suarez all of a sudden was struggling, because then you'd have a massive, massive problem of what do you do and who do you go to? But credit to A.J. Preller, credit to this bullpen they put together. They do have options in that bullpen to strategically go about it a little bit differently. I don't think that necessarily means that Robert Suarez is out of the closer's role. We saw that certainly yesterday. He's not. But to your point, Woodsy, you manage differently this time of year. And once you're in the postseason and everything kind of comes into play. So it's going to be interesting, but, we'll see how they go about it.
Well, and Kevin Acee in his newsletter this morning pointed out that, and I'm looking at it going, wow, it's more than I thought he'd used it. He put some of the usage in. Everyone thinks, if you had to guess without looking at the newsletter, and you guys listening, play along as well.
Yeah.
The 4-seam fastball. Over 85%, would we all nod our head and go, yeah, that sounds right? No, it's 73.4%. The sinker, I would have said, I would have said 2%. No, it's 14. The changeup, I would have said 1%. It's 11.6. Cutter, less than 1. So we see what we see, but the numbers tell us something different. So again, if he can incorporate that, if he could bump that changeup usage up more, devastating. But I would have said 4-seam fastball without looking.
Yeah, but
over 85%.
I think if you're even at 75%, if I'm a batter and I know someone's throwing something 75% of the time, that's all I'm looking for.
Of course.
And if you throw something else, fine, whatever.
Of course.
But if I know I'm getting it 3 out of 4, then I'm sitting on it 4 out of 4 times.
But there's a reason, that he has as many saves as he does, and he has been as effective as he has, because he still can throw. He was humping it to 101
And I get
yesterday.
why he's afraid to throw well, I don't want to say afraid. That's a loaded word. Why he might be more hesitant to throw the change up to the right-handed batters. You don't want to speed up their bat and all of a sudden put one into the Western Metal Building. Might as well throw the fastball. And he does it, but like Sammy said, if you do it every single pitch in a 9-10 pitch at bat, these are major league hitters. They're going to time you up, and if they make contact and you throw that hard, it's going to go a long way.
Yep.
And it has recently, Sammy.
Yeah, no, I think you guys hit the nail on the head. I mean, and I talked about this on Friday night, and I brought up a term that we probably, and you guys probably haven't referred to in a while, but if you remember going back to like even spring training, there was that term elite adjusters that they would say, right? That like good teams are elite adjusters and winners find solutions. These couple of mantras they've had, going back to even spring training. And,
Schiltisms.
But it came into my mind because really for 2 reasons. Number one, like, hey, yeah, Robert's had a wonderful season, all-star season, but hey, sometimes you got to be that elite adjuster, right? Whether that is changing the strategy of what you're doing as a manager, as a coaching staff with those situations, or if you're Robert himself, like not that the Padres haven't, tried to address maybe some of the struggles he's had lately, but it may be at a point where it's like, hey, we got to try something different. Look, you mentioned the sinker and the 4-seam fastball. Look, the thing with those 2 pitches, not that I'm the pitching guru, but they're both just really hard. That's what stood out to me in that Sosa at bat, is that every pitch was 99 miles per hour or greater. And whether you were sitting upstairs or you were sitting on the field or you were watching on TV, it just felt like you could see it coming a little bit with the way Sosa appeared to be on it. So, look, that's a big part of this is anything, just having Robert be better and get back to more of the guy we saw in the first half, because that's the thing too, when people would call me post game and want Suarez out of the closer's role, I tried to make people understand, what do you think? Robert Suarez is all of a sudden going to mop-up duty? He's not.
Right.
Okay, he's going to be a high-leverage arm out of your bullpen. So that's a part of it as well. He's got to adjust and figure out, okay, what's not working, and how do I kind of, get back to the effectiveness that I had in the first half of the year.
Well, Sammy, I will say I caught, I think, a lot of your pre- and post-game shows this weekend, and I loved how you set the stage, talking about how busy it was, early in the Western Metal Supply Company building, even against the White Sox, the 120-loss team. The Padres fans turned out, record 3-game attendance, another record attendance for the season, and you did a great job all season long, just kind of bringing us the atmosphere when we couldn't be at the game ourselves, and being there for us every single game throughout the year. So wanted to thank you. Obviously, we'll talk to you again
Postseason
next
Sammy.
week. And
Next
postseason
week.
Sammy will soon be
Sammy.
making an appearance. Yeah, next Monday will be postseason Sammy time. So
Yeah. How about that? Yes. Hopefully an off day and getting ready for, I guess a wild card series, or if the Padres go on a big time run here, maybe some sort of bye. But thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Yes. Hopefully talk to you on Monday, getting ready for whatever the postseason schedule is and is going to bring.
all right, get
Thank
those
you, buddy.
goggles ready for some champagne celebrations. Thank you, Sammy.
All right, I will. All
Sam
right, see ya.
Levitt, Padres Eco Water SoCal pre- and post-game show host. You will hear him again tomorrow at
Gentlemen.
6:10.
Kiss that
Yeah,
roach.
even
They don't even
It's an
play
off.
today.
Oh no,
I got it. We're right.
We got until tomorrow, right?
it's an off day for the roach.
What's
but
going to happen?
we got to thank him for the weekend.
Is this for the Giants
That's for
to
the
beat
Giants
the Diamondbacks
tonight. Yep.
tonight, maybe?
That's right.
All right, Annie and Elston are coming up next. We got our Reddit AMA right after the show, our member stream tonight. Talk to you at one of those points or tomorrow morning at 6 here at 97.3 The Fan. So long.